And raining very hard. All of a sudden, the skies have opened up over Shea Stadium, and a tarp is on the field. The fans running for cover. This game obviously will not get started on time, and it was to be Randy Wolf, the left-hander, at 9-4 coming in to take on the right-hander and the rookie Aaron Heilman, one of 5 rookies that the Mets are planning on starting tonight. So we'll get back here to Shea Stadium as soon as we can and give you an update on the weather conditions right now in a rain delay. And for Keith Hernandez and Tom Seaver, I'm Dave O'Brien. Right now, we go back to the Fresh Prince, and we'll return here to Shea Stadium in just a moment.
It's been 30 years since that magical Mets season of 1973. Be with us at Shea when we celebrate their 30th anniversary on Sunday, July 13th. Special guests will be on hand, and the first 40,000 fans will receive a replica of the 1973 yearbook, courtesy of Chase. For tickets, call 718-507-TIXX or log on to Mets.com.
There across that line. And he is still trying to get on the board. He is picking up his first victory. He is the bright and shining star of the Mets minor league system, albeit he is not a kid. He is 24 years old, but I mean, you keep going up the ladder from Double-A, from college to Double-A to Triple-A. You continue to learn that winning, pitching successfully in the big leagues becomes more and more difficult with each step that you take up. He is a control pitcher. Got to get the ball hit on the ground, use his defense, change speeds, etc. He is not overpowering and certainly not a strikeout pitcher. We'll take a look at the defense, Keith.
Yes, the Met defense, brought to you by Fleet, sets up like this. Jason Phillips at first base. Jay Bell will play second tonight. The rookie phenom. Jose Reyes at short. Wigington at third. The outfield's Gonzalez, Burnitz, Cedeno. Behind the plate is Vance Wilson.
All right, and it is dry at shortstop and every place else for the most part. Just a little bit of standing water on the warning tracks out in center field behind Jeremy Burnitz and along the left and right field lines somewhat. Hey, your local Jeep dealers bring our Spanish viewers the chance to enjoy tonight's telecast in Espanol. Nice to have you along on this Friday evening. And we're finally ready for baseball after a rain delay. The game was supposed to begin at 7:10. It is now 7:46. Gentlemen, a nice job of big league vamping there for about 7 minutes. Lest you think 7 minutes of airtime on a broadcast is easy, you should see the way we've been sweating. Although a lot of that is the humidity.
You call it vamping? I can think of a better word.
I know what you were calling it, yeah. I was right there with you, brother.
It's more of a clubhouse connotation, you know what I mean?
Yeah, a different aroma to it, didn't it?
Oh, hello.
Marlon Byrd hitting .284 with a couple of home runs. He's driven in 17. He is the rookie in center field. And the first pitch of the night is in there for strike one.
Marlon's been one of the reasons why this club has turned around. They had a terrific June, the Phillies. Last time we had them, he was hitting under 200. Now he's got his average way up there.
Wow, and he hit a rocket shot. Pulled over there now. I hope that officer got out of the way. I think he did. And I saw him down there dancing during merengue night during the open. And it's a good thing he was warmed up and ready to move, because that one almost bit him. The 0-2 pitch. In there for strike three. And Byrd will take a seat. Heilman claims his first strikeout victim. He caught him looking.
Probably looking for something other than fastball right here, Keith.
I don't know how you can look for anything but a fastball when you got 2 strikes on you. He just took one right in the outside corner. See a lot of that today.
The old call from the bench is, what are you looking for, knuckleball?
Here's Jimmy Rollins, the shortstop, at .257 with 5 home runs. Kind of a down year for him so far, but he lines that one into center field for a clean single. So he was looking fastball. He got it 91 miles an hour, and he sent it screaming back to the outfield.
Take a look at the swing again by Jimmy Rollins. We're talking about pitching here tonight with Aaron Heilman. Look at that pitch. That is right down the middle, belt high. And for a guy like Heilman, and you talk about him, David, before, he is not a strikeout pitcher, and control and movement are going to be paramount for him to be successful. And that ball was right down the middle with not much movement on it whatsoever. Bad location and very little movement.
Well, there's the shift on for Jim Thome. But you can't shift defensively and protect against what he did here last night in the first inning. This colossal home run, Keith, 445 feet.
Well, it's a ball up and out over the outer half of the plate. He just went right with it, and I didn't think, I was watching on TV, I didn't realize how far it went. That was definitely a rocket, and that's just going with the pitch, and that's where it hit.
To the opposite field. He has hit 10 opposite field home runs this year. That leads the majors.
It's one of the impressive things about watching him and watching his swing. Now, if he tries to pull that outside pitch that he hit off Traxel last night, it's ground ball second base. And that's the one thing that Jeremy Burnitz is doing so very well himself from the left-hand side, taking that pitch and going the opposite way. And these two guys are gorilla strong. They can hit it out to left center. I'm telling you one thing with Tommy at the plate, runner on first base. Think of the numbers there of opposite field home runs. If the runner at first base gets picked off with Tommy at the plate, got to be $1,000 fine, doesn't it?
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely.
He can't be going anywhere.
Let him swing the bat.
Tried to there, could not hold up, and that's a strike, and it's 1-2.
Even though they've got the big shift on here, Tommy, he goes for a changeup there, got fooled. There's still a hole where the second baseman normally plays. There's his hole. The traditional hole between where the second baseman normally plays and the first baseman is not there. With that shift, of course, out there, but it's still a big hole between Reyes and Bell. And he gets that ball. He likes to pull in this situation, and this is a situation to pull. You want a first and third here. Get something you can pull and make it a first and third.
Rollins getting his lead, one away, and Heilman's 1-2. Dips a little bit low. The home plate umpire tonight is Marvin Hudson, calling the balls and strikes. 2 balls, 2 strikes here. Tommy's next home run, by the way, needs one more to tie Yogi Berra for 60th on the all-time home run list. He now has 357 home runs.
Interesting situation right here now, Keith. Now do you run him?
3-2, yeah, I'd run him
Tommy
fast.
struck out 95 times and 350 times at the plate.
You got a fast man on the base.
A non-strikeout pitcher.
I would run him.
I run him, absolutely. Darn right. Let
and
him
if
go.
he gets thrown out, strike him out, throw him out, so be it.
3-2, he takes off. Swung on and missed. Here's the throw, a little high, but the tag out. He's safe. He got in there. So Tommy strikes out for the 97th time, but Vance Wilson's throw, and this has not been customary for him, was on the high side.
Yeah, the 3-2 going off at first base, right with the pitch, and the throw is just high. If it's a regular Vance Wilson throw, he's dead to rights at second base. The throw was just simply high. He got a good pitch to throw on too, and just threw an air ball down there.
Well, he had something on it. It just wasn't low enough. He really had a good pitch to throw there, even though he had to backhand it. And give Rollins a little credit too. He's got some pretty good speed there. You saw him look back to make sure that the ball was hit and put in play. He knew where it was. 10
stolen bases for Rollins now. So that brings up the dangerous Bobby Abreu. Maybe not having a spectacular year. As Tom mentioned at the top, the only all-star is the man starting against the Mets tonight. That's the pitcher, Randy Wolf. Abreu with 14 home runs.
Well, I talked with Tony Scott, who was a former teammate in St. Louis, first base coach for the Phillies, and I asked him what's been the turnaround. He said it hasn't been any one big guy. He said it's been Abreu one day. It's been Bird has been a big lift leading off. He said that there's Tony right there. That Larry did a great job in putting him against the 4th and 5th starters because he was struggling so badly the first month and a half. That Boa put him against the lesser left-hand pitchers to get him at least out untrapped. And he said now he's been a big catalyst in that leadoff spot.
Inside on Bobby Abreu, and the count is 2-1. They have used, as Keith mentions, they've used Abreu as leadoff man. Marlon Byrd tonight. Rollins has been in there a lot of the season, but he's now moved to the number 2 spot in the order. So Larry Bowa not afraid to mix up his lineup at all. And as mentioned, they're 16-7 since the middle of June. A slicing fly deep. Gonzalez back. That's going to be over his head and up against the fence. Rollins skips on in. And into second base with a walk-in double. Bobby Abreu give him 55 RBIs and give the Phillies a 1-0 lead. We were talking opposite field hitting when we were discussing Tomey. Here's Abreu.
Well, like Tom was saying, the ball's down a little more, but there's not a lot of movement on the fastball there. And Abreu goes right with it. And Raul Gonzalez in left field playing shallow, surprisingly shallow.
No, that is
play average depth, that ball's caught.
Yeah, that's it. He's one of the best hitters in the league for my money. Abreu, he led the league in doubles last year. He had 52 base hits last year. That's his 20th this year.
I'll tell you what, this is getting old for Art Howe. It's the 5th consecutive game the Mets have allowed the opponent to score in the first inning. And it's not worked out well. They've dropped 4 straight.
They had that series in Cincinnati where they had their first sweep and come back, and Atlanta kind of made a statement. Just kind of took him down a notch.
Mike Lieberthal hitting .329. He's homered 6 times, driven in 40 runs, a career 300 hitter against the Mets. 2 down, and a count on him, 0-2. But Abreu now at second base, and a run in for the Phillies. Everyone drying out here at Shea after a rain delay of 36 minutes. It's stiff but foul down into that corner. But another rip by a Philadelphia hitter.
You know, you talk about the Cincinnati Reds and the Mets sweeping them, you know, last weekend in Cincinnati. Take a look at it again. Just got outside the fence. Pretty good looking swing right there, down and in. Take a look at it again, down and in. Did he get in enough?
He just did get in enough.
Just barely.
That's why it was pulled foul.
The Reds haven't won yet since the Mets were there.
No.
Reds have lost 8 in a row.
Tumbling out of contention in that Central. 0-2 pitch. That's popped up shallow center field. Here comes Burnitz. He's not going to reach it. Here comes Abreu rounding third. He's in to score. On an 0-2 pitch, a little floater off the bat of Mike Lieberthal, but it gets the job done, and it's 2-0 the Phillies.
Sometimes you find a hitter that's lucky, and sometimes you find one that's good. That's right off the end of the bat by Lieberthal, swinging on a hot bat. And just not far enough or hard enough for Jeremy Burnitz to get to. Certainly with Abreu at second base, 2 outs, there's no way you're going to get him at home plate. Look where the ball hits, right on the end of the bat.
It was a changeup, Tom, and he just didn't get it out enough. And if it had been on the outside corner, it would have shattered his bat. But the fact that he got it out over the middle, a hitter has a chance.
A sheepish grin there, and there's a deep fly foul hooked way down the line, and a long drive off the bat of Pat Burrell, who has been a Met killer. 19 home runs in 54 games, and the Mets are seeing him at the best possible time. He has not hit a home run in 90 at bats.
Well, they saw him at the best possible time earlier in the year, and he hit 2 home runs.
Wait a minute. You and I are going to have an interpretation of not hitting a home run in 90 at bats.
Look at this, driven down into the corner, a long run for Gonzalez, and that one is gone. He's done it again.
Is that amazing?
Sooner or later, you can only go so far without the bomb exploding.
Isn't that something? He could not be any colder coming into Shea Stadium.
But you know what he has on his side? Numbers on his side. Had not have a home run in 90 ABs. Sooner or later, you get that far out there, it's going to happen. And that was a one-handed fly ball down the left field line.
That's the other thing he has on his side. He's as strong as a bull.
Ooh. And how?
Well, here's the pitch, and it is just, I think, a hanging slider and down in the outer half. And as you said, Tom, he's a low ball hitter. I would not throw him a breaking ball in the strike zone down. I would just try to pound him up and in and establish in with him.
Well, go back to May 20th. Keith, you touched on this against the Mets. 2 home runs. He wasn't going too well at that time, but he was by the time the night was over. 2 big flies for Pat Burrell, give him 12 now. And he breaks out once again against the New York Mets. It is 4-0. That brings up Tomas Perez, who's playing third base.
I think there's your point very well taken, what you just said, Keith, and I think it's very, very important about it for a young player who is not a hard thrower who is the first inning facing this ball club, he has not established inside, has he?
No.
He has not popped the ball inside. It doesn't mean you have to throw 85, 95 miles an hour to throw the ball inside. You have to prove to the opposition that you will go inside so that they'll have to protect in there. None of those hitters in the lineup for the Philadelphia Phillies have had to protect inside yet whatsoever. And there's a case of an off-speed pitch. Look where the body's going. See the body's going out there?
Yep.
Yes, he's way out ahead of it, etc. His rear end is gone, but his body is out over the ball, and he's able to get a decent part of the bat on. Totally off speed, but he's not pulling off the ball. This is a young man who's learning to pitch in the big leagues. And one of the things I guess you don't have to do at the minor league level, you've got to establish inside, fastball inside. You don't have to throw Nolan Ryan, but you've got to establish that you will throw the fastball in off the plate to be effective if you're an off-speed pitcher.
Bell scooped it up on a hard hit ball by Punto, but a lot of them were hit hard in the inning. That's the second straight game they get 4 off the Mets in the first.
Mets fans, on Saturday, July 12th, watch the Mets whip the Phillies and receive a wiffle ball and bat courtesy of Fox Sports Net. Be one of the first 12,000 kids 12 and under at Shea for the 1:20 p.m. game, and you'll soon be swinging for the fences. For tickets, call 718-507-TIXX or check out Mets.com. Wiffle Ball and Bat Day, July 12th. We'll see you at Shea.
After the rain delay, Philadelphia rains 4 runs on the Mets on 5 hits, including a Pat Burrell home run. The starting lineup now brought to you by your Tri-State Quality Ford dealers. And for the Mets, they go with 5 rookies tonight. Not unusual. What is unique is it almost never happens unless it's September. Over the last 30 years, just twice have the Mets started 5 rookies in a non-September game. They do it again tonight and up against Randy Wolf, the left-hander.
Randy Wolf making his 19th start, looking for victory number 10. And these two numbers right there, 113 innings pitched and only 85 hits. Those are the two that jump off the sheet at you right there. That's pretty good numbers. And this is not a power pitcher. This is what you call a sneaky pitcher. All of a sudden, boom, the ball's on you. Look at that, straight as an arrow.
He's a short armor. He kind of wiggles his wrist and comes up short, much like Sid Hernandez to a slight degree.
Exactly. I asked a couple of people in the Philly organization and who they talk about. They brought up Sid Hernandez's name. And he's not a guy that throws 95 or 96 miles an hour. He throws, the low 90s. The most overrated thing as far as a pitcher goes anyway is that number that they put up there about miles per hour. Only because it is a number, you can hang your hat on it. But here's a guy who's got delivery, not much energy, but real good tempo. All of a sudden, short arms the ball, and out of nowhere, the ball gets right on top of you.
Cedeno pops it up into right field, and Bobby Abreu is right there for the catch. One thing that Randy Wolf has is an all-star appearance coming up. He is headed to Chicago, and now defensively, a look at the Phillies.
And the Philly defense brought to you by Fleet. Sets up like this. Jim Thome at first, Nick Punto at second, Jimmy Rollins at short, Perez at third, Burrell, Bird, and Abreu in the outfield, and Mike Lieberthal behind the plate.
And in the first inning for Philadelphia, 8 of those guys came up to swing the bat off of Aaron Heilman. Here's Jay Bell. He takes outside for ball 1. Now Bell hitting just .206, and yet he starts tonight against an all-star pitcher. And you're asking the question why, other than the fact that he is a right-hand hitter. Well, he has handled Randy Wolf. He is 7 out of 15 against him. That's a .467 average, including a home run. And so Art Howe gets his bat in there tonight against the southpaw. 1-2.
Pretty good swing right there, and he couldn't believe he didn't hit it hard. You can see the defense shifting to the right side. And it looked like a ball that he was able to drive in the right center, and he just missed it.
He just wasn't quite level enough, and Jay Bell goes the other way well. Actually, you almost would want to call him almost an inside-out hitter. To a certain degree, he is.
Still looking for his first home run. He hit that ball sharply, but Rollins makes the catch. 2 quick outs here in the first inning for the Mets.
Well, duly noted, just the way the numbers speak, that he has hit the ball well off of Wolf, and that one, yeah, it's an out. But in his mind, in Art Howe's mind, he knows it's a line drive. Just happened to be right at a defensive player.
Exactly.
This is a normal game, and you see Jeremy Burnett's coming up. It's normal in the sense that, let's say it's a note, the Mets did not give up 4 runs in the top of the first inning. He may not see a strike all night long. This is relative to the 5 rookies that you're talking about in the lineup for the Mets, not counting the pitcher, etc. But if he In a normal game, nothing. You may not throw him this guy a strike. If you're the pitcher, you say, listen, this is the guy that can beat me in this lineup. If Floyd isn't in there, maybe Wigginton. But I mean, this guy simply does not beat you. Left-hander against left-hander is a little bit different situation right there. But when you talk about a young lineup, et cetera, and you take the thumper who is hot as a pistol, and Jeremy Burnett said, there's no way he's going to beat me tonight.
You know, you add to that, he had 3 hits off of Wolf the last time he faced him on May 27th. That one drifted away, 2-1.
Well, there's the off-speed curveball, much like Sid Fernandez. Sid was a great up and down the ladder pitcher, and you know, Sid just didn't know where his ball was going to move. When Sid got hurt in between the letters and around mid-thigh.
Ripped into right, Abreu right there. So a couple of them hit right on the nose, but nothing to show for it against Randy Wolf, who is going after his 10th win tonight. It's 4-0, the Phillies. Mets fans step up to the plate, save up to 40% on Mets game tickets with your MasterCard. On select dates throughout 2003, the MasterCard Grand Slam Pack offers fans 4 discount tickets and Mets money. Keep on dancing. We like it. To purchase your Grand Slam Pack, call 718-507-TIXX in advance or log on to Mets.com and have your MasterCard ready. Tom Seaver, Keith Hernandez, and Dave O'Brien with you, and Aaron Heilman back at it, hoping for a much better second inning than his first, and he gets Randy Wolf, the pitcher, to start off this inning. It is 4-0 Philadelphia.
Now, I must say that last inning, Abreu's 2-out double, Gonzalez played a very shallow left field. He's playing very shallow right now, but I can understand him playing that shallow because of the pitcher up. But not off a guy like Abreu. He gets play. You can see he's playing very shallow. If he's playing normal depth in left field, it changes the whole complexion of that inning. The inning's out number 3, and Heilman has himself a goose egg in the first inning.
And instead, Abreu with a searing double over his head, swung on and missed for strike 3, and Wolf becomes the second, the 3rd strikeout victim for Heilman in this one.
The old cambio. That's his pitch and the changeup, and it's a very effective pitch.
That's very well put. Cambio on merengue night. That's very good. That's a great correlation. I thought very good, Mr. Hernandez. The old Cambio.
Marlon Byrd struck out looking in the first inning. The rookie enjoying an excellent road trip, though. He's hitting .412 on it as the Phillies made a trip to Montreal before coming here. Marlon Byrd, during the offseason before spring training, worked out 5 days a week with Tony Gwynn, the 8-time batting champ. They also worked with Jimmy Rollins in November of 2002, and Byrd said the main thing they worked on, Keith, was just getting in the proper position to hit. He said that Tony Gwynn's a master at that. When you work with him, you don't leave until you get it right. Obviously, a guy you did a lot of battles with, Tony Gwynn.
Tony Gwynn was quite a hitter and quite a student of hitting. But you know, a lot of times I think when rookies come up, and I'm one of these, I think that if you get off to a bad start, a lot of it is mental. You lose your confidence, you start pressing, and there he is going after a bad sinker. Lou Brock told me one time, there's a ground ball.
It's going to stay fair, and he tried the sweep tag, and it came out. He's going to be safe at first base, and that was a situation where the ball was in and then out of the glove, and Heilman had a chance on the sweep tag, but it fell out of the mitt.
And that might be ruled an error here. And you can see the play here. Right now, it's okay to try to tag. It's okay, but you got to go down with 2 hands.
Number 6, Jimmy.
I don't think he could do much else right there. I mean, just Bird's runs so well. If you got one shot, you might as well take it. I think if he went down with 2 hands and tried to shuffle it on to first and get it to Bell on first base, there's no way.
His mistake was he tried to backhand it, and he had his glove on his left hand. He should have just not backhanded it.
I think he was in between when going over there. Yeah.
It is ruled a base hit. So 6 already for Philadelphia.
But getting back to Tony Gwynn real briefly, I mean, Lou Brock. Lou Brock said, I used to go to Lou. I said, Lou, I'm this, my hands, and this, I did it. And Lou goes, would you stop thinking about mechanics of your swing? Because 90% of the slumps are just physical, mental fatigue. Because you're not swinging any differently.
Making problems for yourself.
Yes,
yeah, that's
absolutely.
very good advice, too.
Well, this youngster, Byrd, the rookie, who they thought had a chance to win the Rookie of the Year this year, he certainly did. He basically announced, I'm the guy to beat. And then he went out and beat himself first couple of months. He was so cold at the plate, and he looked so bad, they were on the verge of trading for a new center fielder. they were going to ship him back to the minor leagues. But he must have something extra there mentally. So a little something extra upstairs, because he turned it around. He came into tonight hitting .284, and they've been raving about him over the last 6-8 weeks. And he has tremendous skills. He was the MVP in the Eastern League a couple of years ago. And
well, last time we saw him, he was down there nowhere.
It was awful.
He was on the interstate, actually.
Yeah.
And he was clueless up at the plate. And to see the transformation, and I think a lot of credit goes to Larry Bowe. We just saw him there in the dugout, putting him in the right situations where he can get the confidence back.
Nice scoop over there by Jason Phillips on a toss into the dirt by Heilman.
Jason Phillips is not a natural first baseman, a natural catcher in the minor leagues. Learning and adjusting every day. Good play right there. Phillies a little bit of speed at the top of the lineup.
Rollins lifting a routine fly ball in the direction of Cedeno. And that's the second out. So now the powerful Jim Thome will step up to swing. He is 0 for 1. He whiffed on a pretty good changeup by Heilman, swung right through it in the first inning.
Well, now is the situation, Tom, we were talking in the first inning. You do not want Bird to steal here. You want your big thumper with 2 outs to swing the bat, because he might hit a 2-run home run and blow this game wide open.
There you go. Almost any time you got somebody in front of him with a, don't have 2 strikes on it. Now you say with 2 outs. Just stay there. You're thinking, as far as Larry Bowe is going, what I think, if I'm reading you correctly, what Bowe is thinking, 2-run home run regardless, period. Don't want him thrown out at second base at all.
Don't want your thumper leading off the inning.
Yeah, absolutely not.
And the only time you might want to do it, Dave, I think, is if your hitter gets 0-2. Then okay, hey, go. Because he's 0-2, he's in the hole. Take a chance that he might steal the base and your guy gets a base hit. But otherwise,
you get thrown out, he leads off, you take him out of the 0-2 count.
Sure.
Right.
Very short lead over there by Bird, so he's not going anywhere. Line toward the shift, and the catch is made by the shortstop, Reyes, on a nice lunging play. So the shift paid off big time there. Reyes stealing a hit from Jim Thome. 1 man left. It's 4-0 Philadelphia.
boy, that was.
Legally Blonde 2 is the #1 comedy in America.
What more can a girl want?
It's blonde delicious. People magazine raves. Reese Witherspoon is a wonder.
That is so sweet of you.
The blonde blockbuster of the summer. Legally Blonde 2, rated PG-13, now playing.
Ty Wigginton on your left there, Randy Wolf on your right. Ty Wigginton thinking happy thoughts on a night like tonight, because this is the guy, Randy Wolf, he got his first major league hit against. This was May 29th of last year here at Shea Stadium. So Ty Wigginton, he looked a lot younger then. With his first big league hit, he's 3 out of 7 career against Randy Wolf.
Who's your first hit against?
Mike Caldwell.
A little soft tossing left-hander, huh?
Sinker slider. That was the year he was 14-3.
Oh, you just had to throw that in, didn't you?
That was the year he was really good. So it's really tough to hit against.
He was leading the league in innings pitched and hit ratio. Is that what you're telling me, Hernandez?
2-0 on Wigginton, hitting .268.
So you're not going to ask me, is that it?
What's your first hit off of?
Woody Fryman.
Ooh, hard throwing Woody.
Infield single.
I think the tougher question is,
Infield single beat him to first base. Rack him up.
Who did you give up your first hit to as a major league pitcher? Swung on and missed there.
I don't remember.
Really?
You don't remember?
That's right. It's true.
I don't remember.
That's right. You wouldn't save that ball, would you?
Oh. Is it time for you to go now?
6th inning.
Fly to right field toward that empty corner down there, and Bobby Abreu can't reach it. Up off the wall. It'll be 2 bases for Ty Wigginton. She'll make him 4 for 8 off of Randy Wolf. And Ty told me before the game, I just feel good against Randy Wolf. A lot of guys don't. This guy's 9-4, but another extra base hit off him.
2-2 count here, and fastball up and out of the plate. 2 strikes going the other way. Pretty good piece of hitting. Pays to be strong. Wigginton to right field. I thought Abreu
kind of pulled up.
Yeah, I thought he had a chance at that ball. I don't think he thought he had a chance when he started after the ball and then gave up, and then all of a sudden the ball hung up so long that he had a chance to get under it. I'm sure that the Phillies don't want to have playing chicken with that fence out there in right field.
He smelled the fence, though, looked like.
Yes, he did, didn't he?
Yes.
That's 21 doubles, as we showed you from Ty Wigginton. It leads the club, and here's Jason Phillips. Just 3 out of 15 on the homestand, so he's trying to get going again. The 0-1 pitch. The changeup inside.
Well, Jason for the season is hitting .328 against left-handers. He's basically a little doubles hitter. Hits the ball up the middle, stays level with his stroke.
So far 5 home runs for him, but looking for an RBI here, which would be his 21st. He backs out on Wolf. Randy Wolf very upset with the way he pitched in his last start. A 6-3 loss to the Marlins on Sunday. He went 5 innings, gave up 6 runs, 4 of them earned, and he said later, my teammates got me 3 runs. That should have been enough. He mishandles that ground ball, but Rollins has time to gun it over. And into third base, Ty Wigginton.
Well, this ball took a funny hop. You can see he gets jammed. Oh, off the end of the bat here. He was too quick. And it just takes a funny hop right there. Kind of came up. But there's plan B right there, Mr. Rollins.
So the first run of the night, 90 feet away for the Mets, and Raul Gonzalez hitting .271 overall, but almost 100 points better than that with men in scoring position. He's hitting .370. 4-zip Philadelphia. It's on the inside corner for a called strike. He'll mix in a very slow, and I mean a 67, 68 mile an hour curve, along with a changeup at about 80. And the fastball, as Tom mentioned, really no faster than maybe 92, occasionally 93.
That's plenty. The low 90s are plenty.
Hit hard, but right there at the feet of Tomas Perez. He freezes the runner Wigginton, and they're 2 away.
Well, nothing aggravates a hitter more than to get this with the infield's playing back. They're giving you an RBI, and the 2 places you can't hit it on the ground are back to the pitcher and to the third baseman. And you see Wigginton has to respect that. He looks him back beautifully. He has nowhere to go. Hit it anywhere else is an RBI. You just come and you just curse yourself in the dugout.
I was just going to mention that I don't recall Mr. Hernandez doing that. If anything, it went back up the middle. And the whole mentality is to hit the ball up the middle so you get yourself an RBI. You know, you got to get the run in. If you have less than 2 outs and the man down at third base, you've got to get him in. You can't pull the ball down there. I mean, that's just an experience. And the Mets now are, a very young team. And probably prior to the trade deadline, they're going to be even younger. So it's going to be a learning process and a teaching process at the big league level. Can't do that. And that's why you don't win ball games, to do those kinds of things. Potentially, you've given up a run that the defense is giving you already. And if nothing else, you've got to hit the ball up the middle on the ground. You get a run.
So it's 0-2 on Vance Wilson as he fights it off. And watching a guy like Joe Carter, I thought was a great example of that. Would do the smart thing and hit the ball, as you say, up the middle. Look at where the defense is. Take that RBI. If they're going to hand it to him, he'll stick it in his back pocket. He doesn't care if it's a base hit. He doesn't care what his average is.
If he gets a base hit, it's icing on the cake.
Sure.
That's all there is to it.
But the RBI comes first.
Absolutely. I mean, this game is not over. And if you think of the context, Randy Wolf was thinking about this. The third baseman was thinking about this when he fielded the ball. It's a 4-0 ball game. Boom, all of a sudden 1 run, 4-1. Well, what happens if you get a bomb later? Okay, all of a sudden it's 4-3.
Absolutely.
This now all of a sudden the potential is no balls and 2 strikes. You got the potential of that at the leadoff double and not getting a run home.
Line shot, and the Mets will pull this run home. A base hit by Vance Wilson. Finally scores Wigginton, who started the inning with a double. And they get to Randy Wolf here in the second inning. It is 4-1.
And that leads you to the next subject, is 2-out RBIs. And Keith knows exactly what I'm talking about. That's a great piece of hitting by Vance Wilson. No balls and 2 strikes, double clutch, 2 outs, and gets an RBI. I mean, that'll pick up an entire club right there.
Well, you're absolutely right. The toughest RBI to get is the 2-out RBI, and that's the most clutch outside of late in the ball game with a tie ball game or tying it up or putting the club ahead. The 2-out RBI. If you got someone on your team that's a 2-out RBI guy, that's invaluable.
Who's the best you ever saw at that?
Oh gosh, there's tons of great clutch hitters. Tony Perez.
That's the first guy on the top of my list, so that's who I was going to mention.
Tom, you faced Tony.
Yeah, Perez would have to be in there. Joe Torre is one of them. And it's easy to say, it's easy to say Mays, McCovey, Aaron, and, and that group. Because they're all going to be in there. Exactly what you're talking about. They understood the game and knew how to get the, the 2-out RBI. Get yourself a base hit. Don't, forget the home run, forget the double. Just put the ball in play and get a single. But say we're talking about learning at the big league level. Here's Reyes, okay? He's 1 base on balls.
I saw that.
1 base on balls. And he's closing in on, what, 100 at-bats or whatever it is?
This is his 90th at-bat.
Right, so he's closing in 100. His 1 walk. Now he's learning at the big league level. And much of the question of baseball, is this the place for him to learn?
Well, he has swung the bat a lot better from this side of the plate.
Absolutely.
278 from this side, just 170 left-handed.
Left-handed, he's a lot like Cedeno, the way Cedeno bats left-handed. Not as extreme. He steps in the bucket, he throws his shoulder up, out, flies his front shoulder out much too quick. Therefore, he goes for the hard guy with a hard breaking ball and just bounce it in the dirt. He's been fishing. But right-handed, he's much more compact, much more level, waits on the pitch much better.
Inside, right at the hands, and the count is 2-2 on a 20-year-old.
We're talking about Aaron Heilman establishing inside. Here's Wolf, not the big fastball, not a hard fastball. Look at this. Young pitcher up at that left elbow. I will throw the ball inside.
And you know something, too? That's not that close.
No.
It just sends a message. It's just so rare today.
I will pitch on the inside part of the plate. Where do you think this one's going to go?
Throw it right along the line. Abreu with a lengthy run, and he overran the ball, but he made the catch. And he almost ran right into one of those ball boys down there. Well, it is starting to clear up. We've had a rain delay tonight of 36 minutes, but the Phillies lead it 4-1 at the end of 2.
Just another day with Mike Lowry.
Hey, don't hate the player, hate the game.
Ain't nobody getting away from me today. It's just raining Chevys, Mike.
From producer Jerry Bruckheimer and director Michael Bay.
We just want to talk. You want to talk? Well, go ahead. They can't hear you because they're still shooting at you.
Bad Boys 2, rated R, in theaters July 18th.
Hey, here's a look at our Newsday quote book, and it's Mike Piazza, broadcaster/catcher. Obviously, I'm going to be catching. That's going to be the priority, talking about when he comes back from the groin injury. But then I'm going to take ground balls, and I'll talk to Art, and from there we will form a blueprint. Down the line, maybe a broadcast career for Mike Piazza. Keith, you worked with him last night.
No, I didn't work with him last night.
Oh,
I listened to him last night on TV. I thought he did a good job.
You think he did well?
Yes, I did.
Yeah. As a career, maybe?
Well, he said publicly that why would anybody want to go in the booth? And I agree with him, especially if I made around $20 million a year. I wouldn't go in the booth. I'd be on the beach somewhere.
Well, I mean, after the $20 million. I mean, once you've banked that and it's grown and it's turned into 60.
Hey,
and,
you'd never find me. I'd be in South Africa fishing, wherever the heck.
50 or 60 like Seaver's putting away, million. And you can relax. Bobby Abreu takes outside for ball 1 as we get the 3rd inning underway. It is 4-1 Philadelphia.
There's people that know some of the history of the game and talking about money, and we've been a bit facetious, but not totally about dollars. My first year, and this will be interesting, I'm going to ask Keith too. My first year, I made $7,000 for the season.
For the whole year?
For the season.
Mm-hmm.
What year was that?
It was 1967. And
well, the dollar went a lot further back then.
Oh, shut up, Hernandez. You kidding? That was, that's when that was before color television. You know what I mean? They didn't even have color TV then.
Man could travel all the way across the country on a wagon train for $7,000. I mean, for crying out loud. Abreu with a double and a run scored his first time up. Takes outside.
How much did you make your first year?
$16,500.
How much? What year was it?
1974.
74, so 7 years later. Amazing, isn't it?
Yeah. And in St. Louis, that was plenty. I didn't save anything, but it was plenty. I lived comfortably.
Bell gobbles it up and throws out Abreu. Mike Lieberthal coming up next. And since that first inning, Heilman has certainly pitched better. But in the first inning, he gave up 4 runs on 5 hits, including a home run, a one-handed home run by Pat Burrell, his 12th of the season. And Pat Burrell, who is really scuffling coming in, but never seems to have trouble against the Mets.
I think I look at Pat Burrell when he's up there. It reminds me a lot of Jeremy Burnett's. Burrell's the kind of guy right now that you look at him swing, he's using half the field. It looks like he's using from center field over. Burnett did the same thing last year, from center field over to the right field line. Jeremy is certainly not doing that this year. He's using the entire field. Look at the gun from shortstop, huh? That'll tell you to say I want to stay in the big leagues.
Well, here comes Pat Burrell in the first inning. Here's what he did off Heilman.
Well, he's out in front, and he lets go of that hand all the time, but he's a low ball hitter. He stayed back enough. Pretty collapsed. He bent his knees down at his knees. He's not. If you had a kid raising a kid, you wouldn't want him to swing like that. I wouldn't.
Look at what he's done at Shea Stadium, and of the 20 home runs he's hit against the Mets, 11 have come here. That includes tonight.
Nope, you can see they're not really playing him that much for pull. And there's a good up and in fastball.
Now, is he just resigned to having a bad year? He's hitting 193 coming into the ball game tonight.
Hey, a lot of things can turn around after a 3-day break in the All-Star, during the All-Star break. But you can tell he's out in front, completely out in front.
Reyes with the dart for out number 3, and it's a 1-2-3 frame for Aaron Heilman. They get Burrell this time. It's 4-1 the Phillies. Bottom 3 coming up, 4-1 Philadelphia. Well, he helped the Mets win the World Series in 1986. Now he's headed for the Hall of Fame, and Garrett Carter stops by the WB11 Morning News this Monday, starting at 5:30 a.m. I hope the kid's an early riser.
Oh, he is. I think we had such a great pitching staff, a starting rotation we had in '86 during the '80s. I think they were great pitchers, but I think Gary Carter was the game that he called the aggressive game. Gary called a very aggressive game inside, and he had the pitching staff to do it. I think he had a lot to do with the success of our starting 5 during those '80s.
Headed to Cooperstown as Heilman tried to check, but that's across for a strike, and it's 1-2.
Well, that's a magic moment right there.
It was great to see Ray Knight there in Cincinnati, who's had a difficult time physically as Heilman strikes out, but great to see him back. And a tough couple of months. Randy Wolf now, first All-Star game coming up, the only representative from the Philadelphia Phillies. Tom, does that surprise you? The only guy going?
Kind of, yeah. You think maybe Jim Thome would be going. And the club's having a pretty good year. The other guy that, on their pitching staff that's not going, the big right-hander, so.
And Kevin Millwood has tossed a no-hitter and not going to the All-Star game.
Yeah. 10 wins.
Cedeno pops up a bunt foul. He is 0 for 1. This guy is hard to get early. The one thing about Wolf is he hangs in, as he showed in the second inning, an inning that could have blew up on him, but he wound up giving up just the 1 run. First time through the batting order, he allows just a 165 batting average. And that bumps all the way to 226 the second time they see him. And Cedeno is going to be 0 for 2 as he flies out to Bobby Abreu. And there are 2 gone.
The second baseman.
So Roger having a tough time in the month of July, just 2 out of 20, and that'll bring up Jay Bell, who has lined to short tonight. He's 0 for 1.
Well, we were talking about Jay Bell in the lineup. He has success off of Wolf. His first at bat hit a hard line drive right at the shortstop, Rollins.
In there for strike 1. So that makes him 7 out of 16 off of Randy Wolf. The Phillies have been playing their best stretch of baseball lately. That's squibbed out in front of the plate. Lieberthal wants it and makes a bad throw into right field. Bell heading into second. Abreu picks it up. And so Jay Bell is in the scoring position on a misfire by Mike Lieberthal.
There's Larry, little sunflower seeds. Well, the mistake here by Lieberthal was that he had plenty of time to throw out Bell. Now Wolf gets out of the way, as he should. Watch Wolf clear out. He's got plenty of time to throw him out. He did not have to rush. Now, as a pitcher, you can verbally say you got time, or the first baseman covering the bag. It's so important to be vocal out there and communicate. He's got his eyes on the ball. He can't see the runner.
Big swing and a miss by Burnitz. He's 0 for 1. That is an error on Lieberthal, obviously, but you know, it did shower a little bit after they removed the tarp. How much does that factor in?
Well, the ball's dry, and I'm sure if it's rolling out there on the grass, it might be a little wet, but he wasn't collected when he made that throw, and he had time to collect himself and throw him out.
He rushed it. You're right. He absolutely rushed it.
Ooh, we're seeing some up and in today.
Well, if you're Randy Wolf and you don't got to have the ball out over the plate in your breaking ball, then you better establish inside. It's exactly what we were talking about in the very first inning with Aaron Heilman. Establish inside. Don't get that nose out over the plate because I need the breaking ball in that outside corner.
And I think the important thing, Tom, if Burnitz had taken his stride and not bailed out, and here he is looking bad after that up and in on a curveball away. If he would have just strided and not moved his body, that ball wouldn't have hit him. It was not inside enough to hit him. But guys today, they're not used to getting thrown up and in. And I think it just catches them by surprise. They're in shock.
Foul tip to the catcher's mitt, and Burnitz strikes out. So Randy Wolf fans him. It's the second strikeout of the inning. And your score remains the Phillies 4 and the Mets 1.
Tonight, a tense hostage standoff turns a neighborhood into an armed camp. We're live with the latest developments tonight on the WB11 News at 10.
Here's a look at the Dodge trivia question for tonight. Randy Wolf has held righties to a 198 average this season. Which two left-handers in the last 10 years have held right-handers under a batting average of 200?
Left-handers?
That's what it said.
One has to be the big unit. Has to be.
We're being told from the truck, you're 1 for 1, Keith Hernandez.
Okay.
You got it. Here's Tomas Perez leading off the 4th inning here, 4-1 Philadelphia. Two left-handers. That's in the last 10 years.
Left-handers last 10 years.
There's a bunt attempt, but popped up by Tomas Perez. He singled in the 1st inning.
Major leagues, National League.
And we were not given that clue. If it were a
starter. It has to be a starter.
Yeah, it'd have to be a starter.
Major leagues.
Yep.
I feel like Johnny Carson. Was it? No.
No, it was someone in Florida State League that did it, Tom.
No,
you're right.
Come on. Could be. There are 2 leagues in the major leagues, right?
Yes, there's the American and the
like
National
Johnny
League,
Carson and Karnak.
We'll get you a hat. National League is correct.
Thank you.
Being
Thank you.
yes.
I was just waiting for a definition here.
I have got to think this one over here.
Because I was going to say the guy over for the Yankees. David
Pettit.
Wells.
Oh, David Wells.
Oh, Pettit would be another one. But see, now I defined that for us and made this a rather simple answer to come up with.
But we are being told National League and not American League.
Al Leiter. I don't think so.
The 2-2 slice foul.
At least you got to think about it, right?
Yeah.
Think of a guy at San Francisco. What's his name?
Reader?
Kirk Reader?
I don't know.
I'm going with Reader.
Okay.
I'll go with Reader.
I think we're looking at several years ago, like at the beginning of a 10-year span. I don't think we're looking at a current day guy. But... And now we're being told not that far back. So strike that from the record.
20 questions here.
Are you ready?
We'll eventually get it right.
Are you ready for a subliminal clue here? We're going to see if we can give this to you. We are definitely a subliminal crew, by the way. Oh, there we go. Swing and a miss, strike 3 by Perez. He fans. 1 gone in the 4th inning.
The second baseman.
Well, obviously the 1973 New York Mets, Tom Seaver, as we look at the strikeout by Perez, loaded with tremendous pitching, and a lot of those guys are in town, I understand.
Yes, they are.
And
great
for
to see them again.
Special reason, right?
Yeah, today they were out there. You were down at the Department of Veterans Affairs, down at the hospital down on 23rd Street. And to get him, nope, just missed him. Jill Lee and Lorraine Hamilton, a couple of girls in the front office. One of the things the Mets do very well is what they do in their community relations. Just get out of the way. Do a lot to the community. We went down there and saw a group of people. Jerry Grody was here, and Wayne Garrett, Kenny Boswell, and the whole crew. Except Rusty was there. Cleon was there. I'll be out here on Sunday. We saw a lot of the patients that were on dialysis, and I went into another ward, and there was a Dr. Peter Giuliani and David Goldfarb, etc. That took us on the tour. We signed autographs. They were a terrific group of people. They made our day, and hopefully we helped theirs as well.
2 down and a comebacker by Punto. That'll bring up the pitcher, Randy Wolf.
A lot of those guys will be out here on Sunday, too. And as we talked about before, hopefully Doug McGraw will be here as well, celebrating that 73 team.
Guys going to have a reunion, huh?
Of sorts.
2 down, and Wolf struck out in the 2nd.
And you're right, David. Since the 1st inning, Eric Heilman's retired 9 out of the last 10.
Well, the 1st inning has been a horror show for the Mets on this homestand. 4 runs yesterday, 4 more today by Philadelphia in the opening inning. So it's catch-up after that. That one drifts outside.
And as an opposing team, when you're playing a team, a last-place team that is out and demoralized, you want to put the hammer on them quick and get them down, take them out of the game early. And the Phillies have managed to do this 2 days in a row, although this game is still a lot of game left, but still they jump on them 4-0.
How important is that Vance Wilson 2-out single?
Absolutely.
That still keeps this game a game.
Right.
And if they don't score that run, it's almost like a 2-run swing. If he doesn't drive that run in, it's almost like it's a freebie. Then Phillies score 1 or 2 more runs in it as well. Adios time. They've lost 3 in a row. Then they'll fold their 10. So be out of here.
But you're saying psychologically, for the Phillies, it's huge too.
Absolutely, both sides.
Yeah.
Oh, absolutely, both sides of the field.
Right.
Big for both of them.
Phillies on a roll. I mean, they've got a streak going. They're hot. You want to keep that momentum going as long as you can, and you do it by jumping out quick and getting out in front quick.
If they have won 6 of their last 7 series, this is their best stretch of the year so far. Here's the 2-2, base is empty, and right back to Heilman. So this is going to be his 2nd consecutive 1-2-3 inning. Here's Tom Seaver visiting a patient at the hospital, and the 73 Mets.
Hey kids, come spend your summer nights at Shea. Don't miss Tom Glavine Bobblehead Night on Saturday, July 26th. See the Mets battle the Cincinnati Reds at 7:10 p.m. The first 12,000 kids 12 and under will receive a Tom Glavine bobblehead, courtesy of State Farm Insurance. For your tickets, call 718-507-TIXX or log on to Mets.com.
The Mets coming up here in the bottom half of the 4th inning, and time for Dodge Trivia. We'll give you the answer to. We gave you the subliminal clue to. Randy Wolf has held righties to a 198 average this season. Which 2 left-handers in the last 10 years have held righties under 200? Randy Johnson was one. You also guessed Al Leiter, didn't you?
Yes, I did.
I'm guessing Reader. I'm sticking with. I'm sticking with Leiter. I mean Leiter. I mispronounced it.
It happens.
It happens. It was right on the tip of my tongue, and I was gonna, I mean, anybody knows that. Al Leiter.
You were chatting with Al at length before tonight's game down around the bullpen.
Yep.
What kind of mood's he in right now?
Pretty good. You know, ask him about what part of his body's barking, his knee, and you know, his hamstring is barking, and hopefully he's on the road to recovery. And, you pull the hamstring up under his, let's see, his buttock on his left side, actually, because the knee bothered him. And then what you do is you transfer to the next joint to put pressure, you know, on different group of muscles. And it's the knee. The problem with the knee is makes other parts of your body pick up for, you know, the weakness in the knee, and there's other little problem. So he's getting there. He's getting back.
You start favoring it, and then you hurt somewhere else.
Yeah,
you hurt it somewhere else.
Ty Wigginton doubled and scored the Mets' only run in the second inning.
He's not a kid. 37. What is he? 37 years old.
Yep.
And that's part of the deal. It's the same thing. And you know what? We've talked about this, Keith, before. You know, if you only went on the field every time you were 100%, everything was perfect. I mean, you never get out there. You always got a ding or a nick or something somewhere, especially when you get a little bit older.
Particularly when you get a little bit older.
That's right. Get a headache every once in a while when you come to work.
That goes with the job.
No.
Slap foul by Wigginton. Tommy Glavine, by the way, he'll do so in short rest. He will start on Sunday, the last game before the All-Star break against these Phillies in an afternoon tilt. And the injury news on Cliff Floyd is the Mets will take no more chances with him until after the All-Star break. You will not see Cliff Floyd. He's shutting it down until the second half gets started because of that wrist and the Achilles.
Well, Cliff has played hurt all year, and he's run out there and played the best he can and hustled. Played hard.
I think he's played a smart hurt too. I think he has just enough. He needs an extra base to get a double or whatever. He saves just enough to be able to do that, where it's going to help the ball club.
Right.
Don't you think so?
Right.
And where it's, you know, if it's a single, it's a single. Let's not be being Jesse Owens. And you're not going to turn this into it. But sometimes a ball in the corner or the gap, and he says, okay, I can get a double out of this. You know, let's maybe have 2 of these a night I can do, you know. Great off-speed pitch right there from Wolf, set up beautifully.
Well, he's got tremendous changeup. That one floated in at 78.
Well, he's completely fooled. It's down out of the strike zone. Got Wigginton fishing here. Doesn't give it away with the motion. That's the key. Pitcher telegraphs a changeup. Boy, that lights up the board for the hitters. John Denny used to
light your eyes as we speak, Mr. Hernandez.
John Denny used to throw for Cincinnati. I played with John. He threw a palm ball.
Some Toyota out-of-town scores. Atlanta beating up on the Cubs again, 9-5. Boy, the Braves playing great baseball right now. They are tearing the cover off at Montreal, leading Florida in the 6th inning. What's the difference between the action on a palm ball and a changeup, or is it essentially the same thing?
Ask the expert
Essentially
here.
the same thing.
Palm ball doesn't really move. It's more of a straight change, and they might be able to get it to sink, but they put it in the palm of their hand. But I used to read it off John Denny because he'd have his 4 fingers sticking up because the ball's in his palm, and when he released the ball, I would see his 4 fingers up in the air like a crown, like a tiara on the ball. And I knew right away. I said changeup. I knew it was coming.
Like a couple of TV antennas up there.
Oh, Lord have mercy. Western Union.
Hello.
The 0-2 to Phillips is up high.
And Mr. Hernandez was not averse to taking advantage of little hints that maybe the pitcher or the catcher might give away to him as far as what might be coming.
Certainly. Absolutely.
You're not averse to that whatsoever.
No.
Socked into right, a sinking line drive as Jason Phillips does a nice job going the other way. His first hit tonight. And so he's on with 1 away in front of Raul Gonzalez. Again, 5 rookies, including Mr. Phillips, in that lineup tonight.
Well, here's the grip, and it looks like, it's a hanging curveball, Tom. Out up over the plate.
You saw the reaction by Wolf after he released it. He knew it was potentially a lot of trouble.
Well, he knew it was going to be bad when it was about 3 feet from his left hand.
That's right.
He threw that one going uphill. The delivery of that pitch was going up. When it came out of his hand, that means it could only be a roller. And you're talking about Keith talking about getting the changeup from John Denny. And Phillips saw that. He saw that ball spinning and coming out. You're talking about he was been a catcher in the minor leagues. He knew it was a hang curveball right there. It was a matter of whether it would be get down to him where he could get at it.
Pounding ball fair along the line. Perez bobbles it. He kicks it into foul territory, and everyone's safe. Phillips in the second. Gonzalez reaching on the error.
Hank Perez here, a situation where you got a chance for a double play, and he got in between. Should I go to first? Should I go to second base? Should I go to first? In between, he got his feet all screwed up. Keith?
Yes, he did, and I think he even glanced. What got him in trouble, Tom, was he's not in position to field it. I think he glanced at second base and didn't get refocused on the ball. You've got to be able, when the ball's hit slowly to you, you have time to check the runner and see if you have time with your peripheral vision.
Vance Wilson, a .351 hitter with men in scoring position for the season. He's 1 for 1 with an RBI single.
So Vance is hitting .351 with runners in scoring position. He came through tonight once already in his first at bat.
He takes a strike. That was his first career hit off of Randy Wolf. He had been 0 for 7 against the lefty. The Mets 1 for 4 with runners in scoring position for the ball game, and they trail 4-1, but 2 on with 1 out. Hit into left. Here comes Pat Burrell to make the catch. The runners scoot on back, and there are 2 out.
Well, it's a fastball. The catcher set up away, but watch. He got it down and in. A little bit out of the strike zone. That's why Vance Wilson didn't get the barrel the bat on it. That ball had been knee high. That would have been a rocket. Question, Tom.
Sure.
First and second. 8th hitter up. Say it's a decent hitting 8th hitter. And you've got a pitcher up in the on-deck circle, middle of a game like this. Would you pitch around?
Nobody throwing in the bullpen.
But would you pitch around or go after the 8th hitter?
In a 4-1 ball game?
If it was a good 8th hitter, 4-1 ball game.
If it's a good 8th hitter, I go after him.
You would go after him?
I would, absolutely, I would.
Okay,
yeah. I go after him.
Okay.
This is, can he hit? We saw him hit the grand slam in the game in Anaheim. Can he hit the ball out of the ballpark? Sure he can. It's a possibility. He's a 200 hitter, dead fastball hitter.
Right.
If he gets what Randy Wolf wants to do is get him in a situation where he's 2 strikes and 2 balls, 2 strikes, where he's got to defend, etc. Defend against the fastball and throw the changeup, because he has proven that he is a dead fastball hitter.
One thing he has done well, and you touched on the grand slam, he's hit .381 with men in scoring position, so he steps it up a little bit.
And he's gotten more fastballs. That's why. The other thing, in men in scoring position, he's gotten more fastballs. One of the things that happens, young kids coming to the big leagues, first thing you want to find out, can they hit the heater?
That's right.
Everybody's right now trying to find that out. Remember the first time through, Ty Wigginton was hitting about 360? What were clubs doing? They were finding out if he could hit the fastball. Ty Wigginton said, yes, I can hit the fastball. What's he hitting now? He's hitting 260, talking about Wigginton, which is probably about where he should be. He's not a 360 hitter, but he is if he gets all fastballs. That's the whole point here. Now he's got 2 strikes. Is he going to see a fastball for a strike? I would doubt it.
2 away, and he steps off the rubber.
And that may be intentional right there as well, to fill around with the hitter's mind. Okay, he got 2 strikes, defend him, make him a little bit more anxious, and now throw the changeup. Is Randy Wolf that good?
Did he check? They appeal, no swing, says Greg Gibson. It's 2-2.
That's exactly what he did, too.
He had him out in front big time. Let's see if he swung. No, he held it up, but he was very unbalanced here. He was fooled, and you were right, Tom.
Don't you want to see him choking up on the bat? It's a lost art, I realize. We all rave about
Barry Bonds does it.
Bonds does it, and, he chokes way up and he hits the ball 500 feet. Which is absurd, I realize. But a young guy like this, 2 strikes, choke up on the bat, punch something to right field, right?
Especially when you can run. You can run like the wind.
You can run. Yeah.
Especially from the left side. If it's what you said, what's he hitting right-handed? You told me, said 340 or whatever it is?
278, much better. 100 points better on this side.
Okay, well, if he's doing that right-hand, leave him alone. The other side, make him put the ball in play and hit it hard to the left side of the field, where you take advantage of the speed. And that's the learning process that somewhere is going to have to take place at the big league level. On
the job training for the 20-year-old Reyes. He does put it in play, but Rollins there, and the forced play retires the side. So a single and an error, but nothing doing for the Mets here in the 4th inning. And after 4, it's 4-1 the Phillies.
MSG delivers sports talk on Talk of Our Town. The busy New York sports scene never stops buzzing. So tune in and get the latest news and views on Talk of Our Town, presented by Sims. The big issues, the tough topics. If it's happening in sports, we're talking about it. With special high-profile guests and in-depth discussion, Talk of Our Town keeps the focus on the teams, athletes, and stories that you want to hear about. Join Bill Daughtry and Bob Wischusen for Talk of Our Town, presented by Sims, only on MSG Network.
5th inning here at Shea, 4-1 Philadelphia. They have out-hit the Mets 6-3, even though the Phils have committed the only 2 errors in the ball game. Top of the order now for Larry Bowa's club, and that's Marlon Byrd. Keith, are you shocked at this point that Larry Bowa's head just hasn't spun off into space and floated up there near the moon somewhere? I mean, Larry Bowa is known to be one of the most fiery and passionate managers in the game, but a lot of people think maybe he wears his club out.
We kind of felt that when he was a player, too. That's the amazing thing about it. We can't believe that he's still alive.
I think Larry's toned down, calmed down a little bit.
You think so?
Yes, I do. Anyway, I always like fiery guys on my team anyway.
Toward the alley, hit softly, and that's going to drop down for a base hit. Marlon Byrd continues to hit. An infield single, and now a base hit to the outfield. He's 2 for 3.
Well, we're talking about Marlon Byrd getting hot after a slow start, and that's just a fastball, a belt high out over the outer half of the plate. Not a good pitch. Just kind of muscles it out into the opposite field. He's staying back. You have a chance if you wait and stay back. If you get out in front, you haven't got a prayer, and that's what a slump's all about. When you lose your timing and you commit too quick, you get out in front.
Rollins flirting with a bunt. He has singled, stolen a base, and flied out.
And Keith tonight, a guy that cannot knock the bat out of your hands either. For the Mets, talking about Heilman, he's not that kind of pitcher. So you don't have that urgency to get out there in front. You know that it's going to be very difficult for him to beat you inside. Now that's different than what we're talking about before. That doesn't mean you can't establish inside. That's 2 different issues now.
Well, that's what the whole one-on-one battle between the pitcher and the hitter is. If a pitcher can get a hitter worried inside and say, whether it's a hard slider or a hard curveball or a 94-mile-an-hour fastball, if he gets the hitter worried inside, then he can get him out of the way the rest of the day. And that's the battle. I've always felt if a hitter gave me trouble inside, if I was in a slump and I didn't feel good at the plate and I faced Tom Seaver or J.R. Richards, I knew I was in a world of trouble. I wasn't feeling good at the plate, plus I'm facing top shelf pitcher. And they come up and in, they jam you, you're just keeps you off balance.
Rollins takes that one down low, but both of you guys know this to be true. Aaron Heilman had a tremendous college career at Notre Dame, 15-0 1 year. But he is not conditioned to throw inside because of the aluminum bat, because you get no payoff on that in college. You jam a guy, you throw a great pitch inside, he could knock it over the fence, right in on the thumbs.
Your point, very well taken.
Yes.
The first day he signs as a professional, the first thing you got to learn is pitch inside. We don't use aluminum bats here to be effective in the big leagues. You have to throw inside.
And these guys
doesn't mean throw strikes inside. It means an established inside, because the hitters will swing in there.
They grew up their whole life. I'm sorry, I didn't interrupt, but they grew up their whole life playing with aluminum bats. Little league on up, high school. They have no conception of breaking someone's bat. Yeah. No conception.
So can you turn that on as Rollins takes ball 4, 2 on and nobody out? Can you flip your pattern of pitching? I mean, you're used to working away, because that's the payoff even for an aluminum bat.
You can still work away. You have to establish inside. This is an intelligent man, college graduate. This is the way it is, the big league level. Okay, if you don't believe me, then go try to pitch in the big leagues and only use one half of the plate. You get killed.
You got to remember
only pitch away to Jim Thome and see what happens. He'll kill you.
Well, you saw what happened last night.
Oh, he'll kill you. If you're afraid to go into this man, then you don't belong in the big leagues. You have to. That's the only way you're going to be able to pitch outside.
Well, also another point too, Dave, is that when you're on a collegiate level, a small minority of those players are going to get drafted, let alone make it to the big leagues. Uncle Charlie, the old curveball, has ruined a lot of careers. It's ruined a lot of careers in the college level, or a guy with a good changeup. So you're getting out those hitters that aren't great hitters, aren't going to be signed. You don't have a lot, you know, and as you move into professional ranks, you know, you move up the ladder, the competition gets a little bit tougher. You got guys that can hit a changeup, guys that can hit a curveball.
Vern Rule marching out as he has fallen behind Tomey 2-0. And this copyrighted telecast is presented by authority of Sterling METS and may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form. The accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without express written consent of Sterling METS.
You know what's going on here? Very exactly all this thing what we're talking about, Keith and I, you and I, Dave, we're all talking about is confidence. And all of a sudden now you've got Tomey up, you've got 2 men on, you got nobody out, you're down by 4 runs. You've got a pitcher that's his 4th league in the big leagues. He is now in this at-bat right here beginning to not trust his stuff, because you got a guy at home plate who can hit the ball 500 feet. And all of a sudden, is my stuff good enough? That's why Vern Rule went out there. That's why Vance Wilson went out there. And it goes back to the same thing that we were talking about before. Now you don't trust that breaking ball out there because you still haven't established inside. You don't believe that you can be effective now. There it is. Now whatever they said worked. Now, that was a different pitch than the first 2 pitching. It's his whole body language. I mean, he drove this ball through the strike zone. Boom, he threw that ball. Let her go. If he hits it out of here, fine. But don't aim it, don't guide it. Let it fly. There's a changeup right there. Has he thrown the ball inside of this at-bat? No.
Now he's 3-1.
Does Jim Tomey have to worry from the middle of the plate in? That's the whole point. And it's a tough thing to get across. This guy's, you know, he's 6'2", weighs 245 pounds or whatever.
He checked and it's ball 4. And the bases are loaded. All filled up. He's walked Rollins and Tomey. And Bobby Abreu, who might be the most professional hitter on the club, could knock Aaron Heilman right off the hill in this at bat. Nobody out and no place to put him. Abreu tonight with an RBI double. He's also grounded out. For whatever reason, Bobby, a much better hitter at Veterans Stadium in Philadelphia. I mean, it's a huge difference. He's 342 there, just 213 on the road. It's a 129-point difference. The only National League batting qualifier with a bigger difference is Steve Finley in Arizona. He hits 390 at Bank One, 232 on the road. That's 158 points, but he's trouble in any batter's box in any ballpark, and he takes strike 1.
Now, Tom, as a hitter, you pay attention. You should watch how a pitcher works. If you're a right-hand hitter, you watch how he works right-hand hitters. If you're a left-hand hitter, you watch how he works left-hand hitters. He leads Abreu off with a changeup away. You can go up and approach off of Heilman and look away. And if you get a ball in, take it.
Popped up into left. Gonzalez in a few steps. Bird at third base, and here he comes. And the throw is coming home. And a runner will move up into third as well as the run scores to make it 5-1. So Bird crosses the plate. Bobby Abreu picks up his 2nd RBI of the ball game, and now it's a 4-run margin.
Well, that's real bad baseball right there. When you're talking about Major League Baseball, if nothing else, you hit the cutoff man to hold the runner at second base. Now another sacrifice fly scores a run. He catches that ball on the wrong side of his body and airmails it, trying to throw out maybe the fastest guy in the ball club in Bird. No cutoff man. The runner at second base sees that, ends up going to third base. Now another sacrifice fly. And you got a 6-1 ball game.
And plenty of time on a high fly ball like that to have your momentum coming towards home plate as you catch the ball.
High fly foul yanked out of play by Mike Lieberthal. He's 1 for 2 with an RBI single, so doesn't show up as an error officially, but it's certainly a mistake. And the Mets have been doing that sort of thing all season long on outfield throws that have no business coming to the plate.
But it's a kind of thing, David. You're talking about Gonzalez, who's not a kid. He's 29 years old. He's been playing professional baseball for 1991. Somewhere along the line, somebody's got to get that across to him.
Line drive, fair ball, just inside that line. It'll bounce up against the fence. Rollins is in. Here comes Tomey into third. They're going to wave him around. And Reyes drops it in the outfield. The run scores. 2 runs in on that hit by Mike Lieberthal. It is 7-1. Doesn't matter now on the throw, huh?
You know, the amazing thing now, that's the easiest thing to say, and it does matter. Because that sets a tone for your ball club. Very well put in that sense. Well, the throw by Gonzalez, it doesn't make any difference now. It does make a difference. It makes a difference in the perception of your ball club and how well they are trained and how professionally they play and how they execute the things that don't show up in the box score.
7-1 as the inning unravels, and Reyes dropping that ball in the outfield certainly did not help. Well, the right-hander Aaron Heilman still searching for that first major league victory. 4 1/3 innings tonight, gives up 7 runs, 8 hits. And Reyes has now come out, and McEwing is in at shortstop. So a defensive change there, something up with Jose Reyes. And Dan Wheeler is into the game. He's pitched very well in his 9 contests so far with a 184 earned run average.
I think he just flip-flopped the lineup. Put McEwing in the 9 hole. He'll lead off next inning, and Wheeler, with this game 7-1, if he goes through the Philly lineup, he can get 3 innings out of him and save your bullpen.
Pat Burrell 1 for 2 with a 2-run homer, and that was his 12th in the very first inning. And he has a runner at second, and Mike Lieberthal here with a man out. Popped up along the first base side in foul territory. Here comes Phillips, and right in front of that coach's box has it. 2 gone.
The third base.
Tomas Perez next. 7-1 Philadelphia. They scored 4 runs in the first inning, and then Heilman pitched very well until this 5th inning, which started off with a base hit by Marlon Byrd. Then he walked 2 in a row.
Well, you know, this is the other thing we're talking about. What you're talking about, 2 guys that. How many years did you play? 18, 17, 18, 17. So you got 37 years here of baseball. And what are we talking about? What's the biggest thing we talked about? Was Heilman not throwing inside? They went through that lineup, right? Was he throwing inside? It's just like the point you're making. These guys are watching. Hey, he still hasn't gone inside.
He's living out there.
He still hasn't gone inside. Hey, he still has to right or left-handed. He hasn't gone inside. Oh, he threw that one pretty good. Oh, he went back outside again. Did they ever go inside and followed up and throw inside? Those guys, they notice that. Now they're getting their second and third looks at this pitcher going, I don't have to protect inside. I don't have to look one bit inside. What's the first pitch Wheeler threw to Pat Burrell? Fastball in. Hello? You got to believe you can do it before you can do it. That young man there's got to believe in himself. He's got good enough stuff to pitch. In order to pitch, he's going to have to define that word. He's smart enough to figure it out.
It's a terrible expression. This game could be so cruel. It could just knock you down and stomp on you. And I've seen that expression a million times.
The glaze, the glass. Everybody goes through it.
Yep. Absolutely.
Every player that's ever donned the uniform, except maybe Mickey Mantle and Willie Mays.
Oh, Mickey Mantle got sent down.
I know.
So he had that look on his face.
You know, you just if you're superhuman, maybe you don't have to.
And Fred Lynn is one guy. Came up Rookie of the Year, MVP. He never had that look.
Popped up off the end of the bat. A floater, Cedeno in, and it's off the glove of Bell. Those 2 collide, and it rolls behind Cedeno, and the run is in. Mike Lieberthal scores. It is 8-1 Philadelphia.
You have to have communication here, and the policeman is the outfielder. And let's see if we see Cedeno calling for it, and it looks like he is. But the question is how loud. Gosh darn, you got to scream. And I don't know if he's screaming or not, but obviously Jay Bell didn't hear him.
I don't think you heard him till real late, do you?
I don't want to collide with anybody. I scream as loud as I can scream. I've got it. I don't want someone coming in and clipping me. Almost hurt you, hurt your knee or sprain your ankle.
This is ruled a base hit.
He is calling it. But it's a late call, too.
I think your point being how loud is he calling?
Yep.
What kind of volumes you got it dialed up to?
It says 9 hits now for Philadelphia. It's the 3rd in this inning.
They give him a hit and RBI on that?
Absolutely. So the book is closed on Heilman.
So he has been charged with 13 runs in his last 2 starts combined. Punto will be put on intentionally. They'll put runners at first and second with 2 away, and the pitcher Randy Wolf coming up.
Well, his final line is going to be 4 1/3, 8 hits, 5 runs, 5 earned, 2 walks, 4 strikeouts. Excuse me, 8 runs. What am I thinking?
The pitcher.
Wolf in the game is struck out. He's also grounded back to the pitcher. Hitting 125. Not in a bunting situation, but he handles the bat well in that regard. And Wheeler's pitch is pop foul out of play. So Philadelphia on the night is 4 for 4 with men in scoring position. After the base hit ruled by the official score on the Tomas Perez blooper into right field. Heilman's ERA is going to shoot past 5 now, and if he takes the loss, he'll be 0-2. Wheeler's 2-strike pitch misses the corner.
Well, whatever Randy Wolf does, the Phillies will have batted through their entire order in this inning.
Yeah, the inning started with a base hit by Marlon Byrd. There's a line drive base hit into center. Perez rounding third. He's going to try and score, and scampers in with another run. And now racing into third base. Punto. Close play, but he is going to be safe. And the Mets are throwing it around here and not getting anybody. They're down 9-1. And Wolf winds up at second base after his line single.
Well, this has got to be ruled an error on the catcher here with the advancement of the runner to third. And this is the fastball down the middle that Wolf just has a nice cut at. Throws off lines on the cutoff ran though, hits the mound and skips. There's the error right there. Get up and throw it.
And almost threw it in the left field.
As sloppy as the Mets have been in this inning, only 1 error has been charged to them defensively. And now the Phillies have batted around. It is 9-1. Runners at second and third. It was still a ball game when this inning started. There was a 4-1 contest. The Mets have certainly helped it, but 5 runs scored in this frame by Philadelphia. An inning that began with this man singling Marlon Byrd, and that's the after effect. Sliced down the line, but that's going to be foul. That is the best play made by anybody defensively in this inning.
Sign him up. Very nice.
Byrd 2 for 3 with an infield single, and here comes the 1-2 pitch. Off the end of the bat, a broken bat. Wheeler has to get to first. He does not get there. No throw made by Bell, and the run scores. It is 10-1. This is getting very difficult to watch. A ground ball that was looking for the hole, but it was hit very softly by Marlon Byrd.
Well, the mistake here is by the inexperience of Jason Phillips. He should not have gone after that ball.
Shortstop, number 6.
Wheeler is late getting over, even though he broke off the mound. He's not there. He's there in time. It's just
he was just half a step late. I think you're right. You know, when you first reaction was not to get there, and he thought maybe Phillips would stay at the base. That certainly was not the case, and Jay Bell had to double clutch. Second play that Jay Bell has been in where the inning could have ended. Remember the pop fly?
So a 6-run fifth so far for Philadelphia.
Uncle.
Jimmy Rollins batting for the third time officially, 1 for 2 with a walk. He has scored in this inning after taking a free pass. First and third occupied with 2 away. 1 ball, 1 strike.
Brandon Duckworth pitches tomorrow for the Philadelphia Phillies. He's over there screaming, "Don't use them all tonight, boys."
Oh, please.
Save me some for tomorrow, will you?
And you know, you look at this rotation of Philadelphia. He's the 1 weak length. He's 3-3 with an ERA of 5.
Fly into right center. Burnett's fading back. And he's got it. And the carnage ends right there, but 6 runs on the scoreboard. To go with the 4 they scored in the first inning, it is 10-1 Philadelphia.
Welcome back to Shea Stadium. Phillies on top of the Mets 10-1 in the 5th inning. Told you before the game, Cliff Floyd's going to be shutting it down till after the All-Star break with that sore right wrist. Certainly been a tough year for Cliff. He told me that he was just learning to deal with the sore Achilles when the wrist problem cropped up. But his plan is to shut it down, hopefully come back strong for the final 80 games of the year. He also said, look, it's disappointing that the team hasn't contended the way he hoped it would, but by the same token, he says that some of the young players have shown some very encouraging signs, so he's trying to remain optimistic, as I guess we all are, guys. Back upstairs to you.
Although a little tougher after that top half of the 5th inning and 6 runs put up by Philadelphia, but that's the attitude you better have at this point because the second half still to come. Jeremy Burnett's making that catch to finally end it out there in center field. But we are at the midway point of this one, and it's 10-1 Philadelphia. McEwing, who came in as part of the double switch, will lead off the inning, and he'll work the rest of the night at shortstop. So the rest of the evening off for Jose Reyes. Top of the order, Roger Cedeno, and then Jay Bell to follow.
Well, you can see Gary Pettis there, the outfield coach, also first base coach, talking with Cedeno. Obviously about that pop fly that dropped in shallow right last inning. Those are things that should be learned and second nature in the minor leagues.
Yep, file away in the minor leagues, and if nothing else, file away in spring training. I think it's been a learning experience for Art Howe to come over here and in an American League manager, coming to the National League, not knowing these players, and how much do they know? How much of this game do they know how to play? Do they know how to communicate? Do they know how to hit the ball in the middle of the infield with a runner on third and less than 2 outs? You're talking about Gonzalez. Do they know the essentials of this game? No, I think for anything else, it's been a huge learning experience for Art Howe. And he is going to have, well, if you look at it and you think that prior to the deadline, there's a good chance that Benitez will be traded. And Burnett's. That has tremendous value because he's one of the hottest hitters in baseball today. And somebody's going to need some pop from the left side, and he has shown that he's able to do it this season.
There's just so many question marks. And if your club is built around Piazza, it's a serious injury he had. Is he going to be able to catch? So you've got to have plan A and plan B for Mike. If say he can't catch with that groin. They say, well, it's pulled from the bone. If it's pulled from the bone, I mean, that is a serious injury.
McEwing swings and misses for strike 3, 1 away in the 5th. The Mets' upcoming schedule is being brought to you by the compact Rosario from HP. The Phillies here tomorrow and again on Sunday, top 11. We were told before the game we'll make that start on 3 days rest on Sunday. Then the All-Star break, followed by that series against Atlanta Thursday through Sunday, right after the All-Star break. Not sure when Al Leiter is going to pitch. They saw undecided there. Al Leiter still troubled by the knee. 0-1 on Cedeno. He's gone 0 for 2 tonight. The Mets have lost 4 in a row, and they're averaging 2.8 runs per game during the skid. Need 9 to tie tonight. Little flip on to first base, and Cedeno's 0 for 3. Jay Bell up next. When you look at the All-Star list, we talked about Philadelphia. They have just one guy going, and yet this was going to be the year where they kind of built up and made their run at October. And right now, if the season ended today, they in Arizona tied for the wild card in the National League. But no Sammy Sosa. Sammy Sosa got almost no support from the players in the new voting procedure.
Yeah, I think a big backlash with a cork bat. There's no question about that.
Roger Clemens, of course, won't be going either, but a look at the wild card picture right now. It's essentially a dead heat with the Phillies and the Diamondbacks.
I mean, you look at Philadelphia. Tomey's got to go.
Yes.
Millwood's got to go. How can Millwood not go? I mean, he's 10 and what is he? 10-6 and no hitter, etc. I don't understand how Roger Clemens can't go.
I don't understand how Dontrell Willis doesn't go.
Well, I can see that because, okay, you're a rookie, and, you know, some guys had to wait to a certain degree. But, you know, when I was a kid growing up, gosh, Bob Gibson started with the first three. Then Sandy Koufax came in, and you saw Al Kaline hit off Koufax. I don't want to see Al Kaline hit off of Stu Miller. I want to see him hit off of Juan Marichal, Tom Seaver.
Bell pops it up center field. It's going to be a 1-2-3 inning for the All-Star of the Phillies, Randy Wolf. Your score: the Philadelphia Phillies 10, the New York Mets 1.
Derek, you're our starting shortstop. How can you possibly afford to spend 2 nights dancing, 2 nights eating out, and 3 nights just carousing with your friends? Oh.
If you want to enjoy the New York nightlife, bring your Fleet Visa card, because Orso, Cheetah, and the Broome Street Bar don't take American Express. Visa, it's everywhere you want to be. Apply today for a Fleet credit or total access check card. Call 1-800-CALL-FLEET.
On to the 6th inning here at Shea Stadium. The Phillies with a big lead, 10-1, even though they've actually committed more errors than the Mets. The Mets don't feel that way, the way they threw the ball around an inning ago. Jim Thome in the ballgame has struck out, lined out, and walked and scored. 23 home runs. Big first baseman. 6'4", 245 pounds. Get that batting stance where he points that bat toward right field right before the pitch. It's almost like he's calling a shot, but he says it just relaxes his upper body.
Well, it's like any other sport, golf or anything like that. You cannot grip the bat tight. You've got to be relaxed at the plate.
Now, last night pretty relaxed as he clubbed one 444 feet out near the sharp sign on the Diamond Vision. Off of Steve Traxel. He fouls that one away. He took himself a cut there, 1-2.
He doesn't take any half cuts, does he? I mean, the most control cut that he had was last night, and the ball a home run hit to left center. He's trying to go there again, but he tries to get everything into it.
You know, for a power hitter too, he's contained. I'm kind of surprised he strikes out so much. I would like, you know, you can't judge someone unless you see him play every day. But it'd be interesting to follow him in the course of a season every day and find out why he strikes out. He's not over swinging. He takes a big, powerful cut.
But it's a controlled swing.
Yes. He's dangerous.
But he's always taking a lot of walks, too. He's a guy who'll walk 100 times a year.
Exactly.
There's another strikeout for him, though. His second tonight, 98 on the season. Now, on the topic of strikeouts, let us flash back, gentlemen. You have previous history. 1981.
Oh, no.
Tom Seaver. That's Keith Hernandez.
Helicopter.
Strikeout number 3,000.
Well, when you make a series of good pitches the way that I was able to against Keith there, and there was just no way. What do we know?
Oh, God. 2-2 count, too. The 2-2 count.
When you make quality pitches time in and time again.
2-2 count.
Would you mind? Hold on just when you make quality pitches time and time again. There's who's going to hit those outstanding pitches anyway?
That helicopter.
And you describe it as, what was it? Now I'm throwing the microphone to you. The helicopter?
You threw a helicopter. I was going to bad pitch. You saw it.
Bad? That ball was over your head and going the wrong way.
I know.
You thought it was going to be a deadly slider, didn't you?
Oh,
look at the elevation. Watch this lousy pitch. It was a terrible pitch.
Look at the shadows. That was it.
Look at this.
Oh, Keith, what are you doing? It was a level swing, though. That was a level swing.
Is that the worst looking pitch you ever saw? And I tell you what, I could hear the profanity all the way. You were going all the way. How in the world did I swing at that?
You know what? For neither one of you is that a great highlight.
It's terrible.
We've got it.
Terrible.
It's a bad pitch. It's a bad swing. And what's going on there?
We went out in the field. It was the last out of the inning, too. You saw Tom. Oh, my gosh.
Right over the head of Wheeler. Socked into center. Another hit for Bobby Abreu. Give him 2 tonight.
The inning was over. We got 1, 2, 3. Come back in the dugout, and Gene Tennis sat down next to me and said, we all knew that Seaver was going for 3,000 a day. I would have never bet it would have been you.
On that lousy pitch. Watch this line drive.
And here's a level swing. Watch this.
Get out of the way. Get
yes,
out of
sir.
the way.
Ball up in the strike zone, out over the middle.
That's a Hernandez swing right there. You guys have very similar swings, don't you, the two of you? Abreu.
Yeah.
I mean, level, then control, put the ball in play.
He goes to left center field well.
Yep. Power to the opposite field with the line drive to the opposite.
I like him as a player. I do.
I do too. Good arm, runs well, runs very well.
Mike Lieberthal is 2 out of 3. He drove in a pair with a double in the 5th. And base hit in the 1st inning as well. So 43 RBIs from his hitting .332. This is a guy, though, a few years ago, 1999 actually, hit 31 home runs. But he has just 6 right now. You wonder where the power went with Mike Lieberthal. He pops this one up. Here comes Phillips, and right there, Wilson. 2 down. Pat Burrell next. He has already hit a 2-run home run in this game. Now, Keith, I know that you've probably discussed it. Tom and I have. I know Tom doesn't like the new All-Star format at all. The idea that, you know, they're pumping it up as the game means something, as if finally it means something. Your thoughts on the format and what it does mean?
Well, I don't think I agree with Tom. I don't think that it should decide which league has the home field advantage. I think that Major League Baseball has turned it more into a circus. I like the home run hitting contest and all the hoopla, but the game's become too much of a circus now, and I think the players are partially to blame too. And I don't want to talk about when I played. You know, it meant something. You were representing the National League, and it was the American League, and it was bragging rights. And I played on 6 All-Star teams, and I came in during that long streak where the National League won like 50 in a row. And let me tell you, the talk I was playing the first time I played, the Concepciones, the benches, the Seavers, it was, hey guys.
Pride was a big deal.
Absolutely.
Pride was a big deal, which I learned from when I came along, from the Aarons and the Mazes and those kinds of guys. Yeah, this is a big deal. We want to kick somebody's butt here. This is not an exhibition game. This is a game that we want to win and beat somebody.
You wonder where the pride went. 10-1 the score here. The Phillies in control as Burrell whips. We're in the bottom half of the 6th inning, 10-1 Philadelphia, as Jeremy Brunitz will lead things off. And tonight after the game, find out why WB11's News at 10 is the Emmy winner for Best Single Newscast, the 2nd year in a row. Join the team that brings you New York's news tonight, right after the game here on the WB11. Fouled off by Brunitz. Is it fair? It's going to be a fair ball. And he is going to be out as it hugged that chalk line. And Brunitz retired. He is 0 for 3. Hoping it would have rolled up that line foul, but he is hitless tonight.
Well, it's just a breaking ball away. He tries to pull, gets it off the end of the bat. And it goes right over the bag. If you're hitting, you go foul, go foul.
That's a 10-run, that's a 9-run lead. First pitch swing at it, get it over with at bat to me.
Those, you know, you try to limit those kind of at bats.
He went out there trying to pull the ball on the outside part of the plate, something he has been disciplined in the last 6 weeks of not doing. And it's a 9-run lead. First pitch, trying to hit a home run. If I don't hit it, I'm out of here.
Pete Rose, you played with Pete. Pete came to me and said,
that's a great story, Pete Rose.
Yep.
That's very educational.
You cannot try not to give away at bats. Whether it's 10-0 you're ahead or 10-0 you're behind.
And it's a perfect spot. Exactly what you're talking about. 9-run lead, 10-1 ball game. You can just give this bat away. Who's going to remember?
That's right.
Oh, it's Pete's point to you.
Pete was amazing. You want to get 30 hits every 100 at bats. If you got 35, you only need 25 the next 100.
Perez measures it, tosses it right on the money to get Ty Wigginton. He's now 1 for 3. Time for our New York Hospital of Queens injury update. We're talking about Mike Stanton. Got a chance to pitch yesterday, making his way back from injury, and it was his second rehab stint. He actually started in that game for the Brooklyn Cyclones. He went an inning, 1 hit, struck out 1. The reports are good on Mike. So the lefty reliever getting close to returning the Mets and getting back in that bullpen rotation. 2 down, bases empty. Jason Phillips now. He's gone 1 for 2. And if you're just joining us, well, it was 4 runs in the first inning for the Phillies. Another bad first inning for the Mets. That's all they've had on this homestand. And a 6-run 5th for Philadelphia. You would have thought, well, you know, Burrell's hit a couple of home runs. Maybe Jim Thome's hit a couple out of the ballpark. Well, Burrell has. But the 5th inning was kind of a circus inning, in which 6 runs scored on 5 hits, but the Mets made a number of defensive mistakes as well, mental and physical. Fouled back, and it's 0-2 on Phillips.
Well, the Mets certainly have either imploded or exploded, whatever definition it works. It's just been a night to forget. And it's still going on. There's still 3.5 more innings to go.
Well, at least for Tom and I, you're getting out of here.
Well,
on merengue night, we can't hold Keith Hernandez in the booth for very long. Up the middle and a base hit. So Phillips singles for the 2nd time. But you guys are coming back together on Sunday, is that correct?
Yes.
On the WB11?
Tom and I. Tom doing the play-by-play. You are with ESPN? You're moving on somewhere else?
I'm going to be working a couple of events. Yeah, out in Chicago, the All-Star festivities that we were talking about. Hector Mercado loosens up.
It's fun to do, isn't it?
Futures game is great. Great fun to watch. Because you see kids like Jose Reyes a year or 2 before they get to the big leagues.
Sure.
And you get to see why everyone's raving about them.
Who's the big name this year?
Boy, you know what? There's a great lineup from the World Team, because the way they do the format, they do a World Team against basically a team from the United States, American-born kids.
Justin Huber from the Mets is catcher for the World Team. Is that not correct?
That's correct. And he was one of the key guys. Jose Reyes last year had the game-winning triple that put the World Team over the top. And when he went flying around the bases, you know, the ballpark in Milwaukee was about 2/3 full, getting ready for an event that happened after that game as well. And the oohs and ahs, he went flying around the bases, cornering like he was on rails, was something to hear. And then everyone knew, boy, this kid, look out when he gets to the major leagues. So it's always great fun.
Leads to the point about 1 base on ball so far this season.
That's right.
100 at-bats.
That's right. Forced play retires the side. 1 man left in this inning. Randy Wolf looking pretty sharp. And so is Keith Hernandez on merengue night. He is headed out. Keith, thanks for joining us. See you Sunday.
Oh, yes.
Tonight, a tense hostage standoff turns a neighborhood into an armed camp. We're live with the latest developments. Also tonight, a sickening discovery in a local home leads to animal cruelty charges. The disturbing details. Tonight on the WB11 News at 10.
The Phillies with a big 10-1 lead as we go to the 7th. Well, he helped the Mets win the World Series in 1986. Now he's headed for the Hall of Fame. Gary Carter stops by the WB11 Morning News team this Monday starting at 5:30 a.m. right here in the WB11. My thanks to Keith Hernandez, who left this one 10-1. But back on Sunday, another look at the kid, and you'll see him on WB11 on Monday. If you get up real early, if you're an early riser, and Keith assures us the kid it definitely is.
The kid doesn't sleep, that's why.
Tomas Perez with a couple of base hits. He's also struck out.
Did I read where he's the honorary captain now of the National League team this year? Is that correct?
That is
Did
correct.
I read that correctly?
Yes, you did. Gary Carter. And Cooperstown is calling. Here comes the 2-1 pitch. Cut on and missed. You talk about Gary Carter entering the Hall of Fame with the greatest players who have ever played Major League Baseball. Swing and a miss by Perez. So I ask you from personal experience, what's going through his mind here so close to the ceremonies? Has he already polished the speech? Or is he going over that every day? Trying to remember
He better be
everybody?
thinking that if he goes over 15 minutes, what kind of static he's going to have to take from Bob Gibson. That there is a 15-minute limit, period.
Yeah.
And Gibson and the rest of the boys say, we will stick to that rule. Do you understand what I'm talking about?
Is that like an Oscar acceptance speech where
period.
They turn it off?
Thank you.
Your mic's off, man.
Okay, wrap it up here. Stand him behind you. When he gives his induction speech, all the former inductees of the Hall of Fame sitting behind him in the heat in Cooperstown with the mosquitoes and the gnats. Wrap it up.
Did you come in under 15?
I don't remember, and frankly, Scarlett,
I know.
It was worth the aggravation.
2-1 on Punto.
But, Carter's got no chance.
No.
He's got no chance at less than 15, but I think they're trying to limit it to less than 15.
Fly ball, back goes Gonzalez, and he's going to turn around and make the catch. 2 down. Once again, Gonzalez playing pretty shallow and a long way to go to get it.
It hit pretty good right there by the left-hand hitter Perez to left field. Punto, excuse me. And long run for Gonzalez. Good play there.
He's way in again, but so are the other two outfielders because the pitcher is up. Although last time up, Randy Wolf laced a line drive and RBI single up the middle. When you remember your Hall of Fame speech, I mean, did you forget anybody? Was there somebody?
Absolutely, yeah.
Somebody later?
I got to the end of my speech, and it's funny. I was talking to Raleigh Fingers. I said, "What's the most difficult part for you?" And he said, "What's going to be my dad." And I said, "Where are you putting him?" He said, "I'm putting him right up front. Get rid of him. Get him out of here." So he said, "How about you?" I said, "My mother, obviously." To me, that was the most difficult thing for me to get through. I put her way at the bottom of my speech. I didn't get to Rod Dato and a couple other people, Len Burnett, my Fresno City College coach, and a couple other people, because I saw my mother coming, and Gil Hodges at the end wrapped him up, baby. Go right to the last page, shut her down.
Cut to chase. 10-1 Philadelphia. Here's your chance to make your big league dreams come true. Suit up and play with Mets all-time greats at the official New York Mets Fantasy Camp. Spend 5 days and 4 nights at the Mets Spring Training Facility in Port St. Lucie, Florida. You'll take the field in your very own personalized Mets uniform. Be coached by the pros in the fundamentals of hitting, pitching, fielding, and base running. Secure your place in the lineup today by calling 718-559-3035 or log on to Mets.com. Tom Seaver, Dave O'Brien with you as Mr. Met goes to work here and working overtime. It is 10-1 Philadelphia. Now look at the Toyota out-of-town scoreboard to this point in this evening's festivities. It is Merengue nights at the ballpark, and a big win for Atlanta. Best record in baseball. They keep on posting W's, 9-5 over the Cubs. So the Braves continue to be one of the hot teams in Major League Baseball as we close in on the All-Star break. Florida getting by Montreal 9-5, but that Atlanta Braves team has now won 8 consecutive games. Milwaukee leading Cincinnati in the 6th inning. Houston on top of Pittsburgh 3-1. They're in the bottom of the 6th, and the Astros go into tonight's baseball games with a 2-game lead over Chicago and St. Louis in the National League Central. Red Sox with a win over Detroit. They started the day 2 games behind the Yankees in the American League. Vance Wilson hitting .287 with 7 home runs. Hector Mercado on to pitch, and on in relief of Randy Wolf, who's in pretty good shape to be 10-4 heading into his All-Star appearance on Tuesday night in Chicago.
One of the luxuries is, if it's during the regular season, is the big game where you've got a pitcher like a Randy Wolf or one of your top starters, and you get the luxury of taking them out of a ball game after 6 innings and cutting them under 100 pitches when you have the big lead.
And also may just help the National League in the ball game against the American League on Tuesday. He only went 6 innings, so he's going to be pretty fresh. He allowed just 4 hits and 1 run.
The other thing, it might be a valuable relief here on Sunday.
That too.
Absolutely. The left-hand hitter to face Jeremy Burnitz on Sunday.
Wilson with a base hit in the second inning to chase in the lone Met run to this point. That drove in Ty Wigginton to a double. Wilson's hit was a 2-out hit, and for a couple of innings anyway, it looked like it was going to be a key hit. Because it got the Mets on the board, cut that lead to 4-1, but then the wheels came off in the fifth. The Philadelphia Phillies pouring across 6 runs. And the Mets will need a hitter in the 8th spot, which Jose Reyes had in the lineup as his own tonight. He was 0 for 2 at the plate before being taken out as part of a double switch. The pitcher came on to hit for him, at least in his spot, Van Wheeler. Line of left center field hit pretty well. That one's going to drop and onto the running track and bounce over that fence. So that'll be a ground rule double. Vance Wilson with his second hit. So there's one guy not giving at-bats away. You talked about this last inning. Even with the scoreboard 10-1, he's 2 for 3.
One of the things Vance Wilson has done since he has been here is hit mistakes hard. And he's not a kid. He's a 30-year-old career minor leaguer getting his chance this year to play on a regular basis in the big leagues, and I think he is going to sustain his job, at least get a job in the big leagues for a long time. Look at the mechanics here, not over swing, great balance. Keith Hernandez would love this, head right down to the ball, hit it hard someplace. He has proven that he can certainly catch and throw in the big leagues with anybody. And the other thing that he has proven, he's hit better in the big leagues than he has in the minor leagues.
Hot shot foul by Tony Clark, the pinch hitter.
And the biggest point to me, David, is that what he has done is that when he gets a pitch to hit and hit hard, and remember the RBI single that he had to drive in the 2-out, 2-strike run early in this ball game, double clutch on the curveball and hit it to right center. Good piece of hitting. And he got a little mediocre fastball middle in there, drove it hard, got himself a double. You give him a pitch to hit, he hits it hard someplace.
Tony Clark as a pinch hitter with a much higher batting average than his overall clip. He's at .318 with 2 home runs in a pinch. Lieberthal out to consult with Mercado. A runner at second, nobody out. The extra base hit by Wilson was the 5th hit tonight for the Mets. Larry Bowa's team is looking for another win, which would be number 51 for them. Would also be their 4th in a row. And since June 14th, they'll improve to 17-7 should they wrap this one up. They went a long way to wrapping it up with those 6 runs in the 5th inning. 2-1 on Clark. Overall, he's hitting .224 with 10 homers. Softly toward the middle. Rollins from behind the bag, over in time and down to third. Moves Vance Wilson. So that's out number 1. And here comes Joe McEwing. The Phillies coming into tonight's ball game knowing that Arizona is tied with them essentially for the wild card lead in the National League. And with all the money they spent in the offseason, especially acquiring Jim Thome and bringing in Kevin Millwood and shaping their team as a playoff contender, I think it's going to be very important for the Phillies to be into the All-Star break safely, knowing that if the season ended, that they would be in the playoffs, or at least tied with Arizona.
Well, I think that's part of it. I don't think we've seen the whole. I don't think you know till the end of the month what you have to work with. I think that's basically what I'm talking about. We've got so much of the haves and the have-nots as far as money goes, and the clubs that have a chance, and there's so much of the game is driven by the dollar now today. Well, then who can we get rid of? And maybe can we get rid of a high-priced such-and-such player to Philadelphia or to Arizona or L.A.? What do they need? What are these guys going to need? And they're saying, okay, we have a chance. Let's go for the golden ring, and we'll spend the money. Well, that has to be played out up to, the 31st of this month.
Yep, that's the trading deadline.
When we get all that in the mix, then we'll find out. It's funny with the way that the money is driving the game now, because the Cubs they'll position themselves, and then they'll decide fully which way they're going to go financially. And that just seems to be the way the game is.
Fly pretty well hit to right center field. Bird on the move will haul it in. Tagging up, here comes Vance Wilson. He'll trot in to score the second run of the night for the Mets. It's 10-2. Joe McEwing with the RBI and the sacrifice. So a man in. And Wilson has figured in both of the runs tonight. He's driven in one. He scored the other. Top of the order now, Roger Cedeno. He's gone 0 for 3. And was also involved in a misplay in right field on a little bit of a collision with Jay Bell on it was ruled a base hit, but a little pop-up that fell in at right. It was during that 5th inning in which 6 runs scored for Philadelphia. I mean, obviously played in World Series clubs, good teams. Did you feel that it wasn't until August 1st that you really had a great grip on how good your team could be? I mean, Sparky Anderson used to say after 40 games, you should have an idea. Maybe not if you're definitely going to the playoffs, but how good you are, and again, those 1 or 2 things that you need.
Well, you're talking about Sparky Anderson. You're talking about a guy that's been in the game for forever. When I was on a World Championship team for the first time in '69, it was my 3rd year. 67, 68, 69. And I think for a man, the 25-man roster, as we went through the course of the season, people began to believe. I mean, Jerry Grody, who's going to be here Sunday in spring training, said, well, we got a chance to win this, you guys. And maybe, wait a minute, we finished next to last year. Or last, or whatever it was. What difference does it make?
When did he say that?
Right? He said in spring training. And we said, this guy's nuts. What's he talking about? I mean, under our breath, we didn't say it out loud. But you know what he said? He said, we got Seaver, we got Kuzma, we got Ryan, we got Gentry, we got yada. He saw what the potential was for pitching. And all of a sudden, we began to believe it. There's Mr. Grody and Mr. Kuzma. And one by one, everybody jumped on the bandwagon. Mr. Hodges was sitting over there on the end of that dugout for 14 and say one way to play the game.
Cedeno with a deep drive, and this one's going to be out of here. Roger Cedeno strikes for his 4th home run of the season. He has not heard this very often, the sound of cheers for Roger Cedeno. But he'll touch a ball, and that makes it 10-3. Home run number 4. Not that it means a whole lot in a spot like this, but a 2-out home run here in the 7th inning.
It'll help your personality. 2-out, 2 strike, I think he had on it. Make your day a little bit brighter, certainly. Take a look at it again from the right side. Got a little piece of nothing middle end. Yeah, right about waist high, belly button high.
This one flying to right field, backing up Bobby Abreu. He turns around for the catch, and the side is retired. 2 runs in for the Mets. It's 10-3, the Phillies.
Join us on Friday, July 25th at Shea Stadium for Caribbean Night, presented by Golden Crust Bakery. See the Mets battle the Cincinnati Reds at 7:10 p.m. Make sure to arrive early for some special pregame entertainment. For your tickets, stop by Shea Stadium or Keyspan Park. Visit a Mets clubhouse shop, log on to Mets.com, or call 718-507-TIXX.
Here's a look at the Jeep game summary, and pretty ugly in innings 1 and 5 as the Phillies scored 10 runs in those innings combined. The Mets with a run in the 2nd, just added a couple in the 7th inning, but they trailed 10-3. Heilman lasted just 4 1/3. Aaron Heilman with 8 earned runs. It's back-to-back bad outings for the youngster. Lieberthal 2 out of 4. Pat Burrell with his 20th career home run against the Mets. That came in the 1st inning. He had not hit a home run in 90 at-bats. We did have a 36-minute rain delay, all of which means nothing to Jeff Duncan. He is in the ball game in center field. Got a base hit last night. Marlon Byrd to lead things off here as we go to the 8th inning. He's had a good night at the plate with 3 hits. Serta coming in, pitching his 18th game and trying to bring down that high earned run average He's given up 23 hits and 21 in the third innings. Bird, the leadoff hitter, takes that one up top. And the count 2-0.
One of the things about being a young player on a club that's having a bad year is establishing yourself, proving to them, proving to the front office, proving to the manager and the coaches that you can play, you can pitch, play, hit, whatever it might be, and try to make a statement and say, I belong in the big leagues. Now, there's two pitches that are way up and out of the strike zone, coming out of the bullpen. But so far has been a blowout game in Jaime Cerda. And the fastball way up above the top of the strike zone. And the situation here, what a young pitcher should be doing is showing, coming in, getting ahead of his hitters, doing the basic fundamentals correctly.
Swing and a miss by Marlon Byrd. The on-deck hitter is Jimmy Rollins. The count 3-2 now.
And can you throw a ball by somebody when they're at the head in the count? 3-1, you know you're getting fastball. There's a fastball right down Broadway and threw it right by the hitter.
Missed inside, and that's ball 4. So he lets him go. Byrd is on for the 4th time in this game. Rollins up next. Cerda last year making his major league debut on June 28th at Yankee Stadium. He entered the game with the bases loaded, 1 out, and allowed just 1 run to score. He struck out the side in the 8th inning. So that was the highlight of his career, his young career so far. And he squares off against Rollins here. Jimmy Rollins in the game with a base hit. He's also walked and scored. In fact, he scored 2 runs in this game. Last year, Rollins hit .245, hitting .258 right now. But you have the idea that it's been a disappointing season to some extent for Rollins because his stolen bases are way down. He pops that one up. Over third, McEwing and Wigginton there. Joe McEwing clutches it for out number 1. Now, he has not had a terrific year. They've dropped him out of the leadoff spot to second. Bobby Abreu, who's usually a 300 hitter, came in hitting .276, although he's starting to warm up. Pat Burrell's had a dismal season after such an impressive year last year. And of course, David Bell, the third baseman, he's out tonight with a minor injury, but he's had a terrible year. And yet the Phillies,
he's under 200.
Yeah, under 300, under 200, and a guy who has at times played kind of sketchy defensively, which they didn't expect. But Todd Pratt, the hitter here, he steps in there to hit for Jim Thome. And yet the Phillies are right there for a playoff spot, despite some key people having down years. The bullpen's been great.
The other way to look at it, too, so exactly what you're talking about is that they've played their worst baseball in the first half.
Yeah.
Now, all of a sudden, that's, if Bobby Abreu, I mean, he's a 320 hitter or whatever he might be. He's going to play that way. Burrow's going to play the way somewhat. I mean, even if it's within 80% or 75% of what we expect, considering that they came in here hitting under 200. Thome has done the kind of job I think that they thought he was doing. Bring a level of professionalism to the clubhouse, etc., and the approach to the ball game. Well, if they play 70% and they're right there, at least they got a chance, if nothing else, for a playoff spot.
Pratt will take a seat as Cerda whiffs him. Caught him looking, and there are 2 gone.
Atlanta Braves beat Mark Pryor today, it looks like, too, huh? 22 for the Chicago Cubs, I believe, is Pryor.
9-5.
9-5. Atlanta came in here and just waltzed right through the Mets in 3 games and gone on to Chicago, won 2 more.
8 in a row for them.
Against a pretty good club in Chicago. On the road, that made him look easy here, and then relative very easy looking in Chicago. Big win yesterday behind Maddox.
Sure was.
13-2 or whatever it was, double digit to a single digit. A low single digit, by the way.
Jason Michaels taking a strike. He hits for Abreu here with a runner at first base and 2 out. We're in the top of the 8th inning. 10-3 Philadelphia. The question is, can this Philadelphia team make a run at Atlanta?
I don't think so.
You don't believe so?
I don't think so.
What did they lack?
I don't think they have all overall talent to do it. And I think if Atlanta gets Paul Byrd back and they get Hampton somewhat straightened out, or the kind of year that Sheffield is having, all of a sudden Chipper Jones, you turn around and he was scuffling, right? Got 50 RBIs.
Yeah.
Right. I mean, they're just going to be there. and you got that number 31 in the bullpen for them. They're just you're not going to be able to catch them. So you're playing for playoff spot. I mean, the Braves got out of the box well, and have kept it right up.
If you're the Phillies, you're playing for second.
I think so.
No,
they could beat him.
Right,
you know, they could. I mean, if you know, what if Pat Burrell gets? What if he gets hot and hits 400? You can play the what if game all you want.
Runner goes and it's popped up. That'll make the seats.
But the Braves have just been too good, too consistently good all year long.
Atlanta's hit more home runs than anybody in baseball. Pitching wise, that's the shocker, of course. The Braves just haven't been that great. They're a middle of the pack pitching team with a 4.16 ERA, but they've just been crushing the ball. The second best average behind St. Louis. Trickled foul, and I know you like that Cardinal lineup a lot, especially with Albert Pujols having the year that he's having.
But you always, you know, you've come to accustomed to saying, but what about Tony La Russa in this pitching?
Yeah, sure.
You just come to say that. So that's what has started.
St. Louis is in the bottom third in pitching. That's ball 4. So Michaels will take his base. That puts 2 on with 2 out.
So clubs now positioning themselves for a potential postseason play. What do? Do we go get player X? Do we go get that reliever? Do we pick up that salary? You know, all this, we've come full circle here. These clubs, who are they going to get? Do they have the money to get it? You hear everything's budget restraints. Omar Minaya says, I can't raise salary. I can't take on any more salary with the Montreal Expos.
Little jam shot. Serta gets to it in good shape. Guns on. Nicely done by Serta. 2 men left. The Philadelphia Phillies, though, cruising to a win here tonight. Maybe a playoff spot. It's 10-3, the Phils. Last of the 8th coming away. It's 10-3 Philadelphia as they have doubled up the Mets in hits. A couple of changes now. That's the Toyota line score. And for the Philadelphia club, Pratt stays in the game for Tomey at first base. And Carlos Silva, he's the new pitcher. We talked about at the very beginning of our broadcast that brawl on June 13th between the Phillies and the Reds that ignited Philadelphia. Since that time, they're 16-7. They've really caught fire. They played their best stretch of baseball since that fight, and Silva was the man right in the middle of it. He's the guy that went after Big Adam Dunn, which is a questionable decision. Someone of Dunn's size, 6'6", about 900 pounds. And that's how that brawl started. Jeff Duncan knocks a base hit into left field. First pitch swinging, batting in Burnitz's spot. He's got a base hit.
Silva is no lightweight either, you know. 6'4", about 240. I don't think he's afraid to walk in the woods by himself. Afraid of the bear, do you?
No, but I'll tell you what. You know what he did? He took a swing at Dunn. Well, Dunn was down, and that did not.
Oh no, that's not. I'm not. But he's not. What I'm saying is he's not going to run.
No, he didn't run.
No, he's not going to run. You're not going to see the number on his back. Yeah,
he didn't run out of the frame. Ground ball sharply. Perez down to get it. Over to Punto on to first. Pratt digs it for the double play. So Ty Wigginton double up. And there are 2 gone. And now the Phillies turning things around. Look at the overall record. Pretty mediocre for them. 34-32 before that brawl, and then right after it. You don't say they went on a tear batting average wise. But they certainly have played better and improved their wild card position from 5th to tied for 1st with Arizona. Larry Boa, until that point, some were writing that he was on the hot seat. At that point, it was he and Jerry Manuel, the Chicago White Sox manager, who many believed it was a race to see who was going to get fired first. Maybe the one thing when you look at the Phillies and you look at their bullpen, which has performed very well, you look at Mesa and you wonder, I mean, at his age, is he going to take you deep into October?
You think of him in the same vein that you're talking about Eric Gagne and John Smoltz in Atlanta?
No. I mean, Mesa's got what, an ERA of over 4.5.
That's right. It's almost 5, 4.97 or whatever it was. We were looking at it a couple minutes ago. I think that and the Chicago Cubs with Alfonseca and their bullpen, is that the closure to take place?
You know, they bumped him.
It's so important.
Yep.
You know, it is so important in the game today. You're talking about that guy that can walk out of the bullpen. And when you've got a win in hand, it's on the plate right now, close to the deal, and wrap it up.
Phillips chops that one, and he is out. It's all about the pieces that maybe are still to come for those teams in contention come July 31st.
Mount up. We got the call. With SWAT, we match up with the worst of the worst.
Suspects are neutralized.
They are everyday heroes. Called upon.
I gotta go.
To do the extraordinary.
All right, you guys ready?
We are awaiting the arrival of an international fugitive.
His family's fortune is in the billions. I will give $100 million to whoever gets me out of here.
Are you for real?
$100 million!
Be alert, they're coming out of the woodwork.
We have an ex-SWAT guy leading this attack.
We're at a whole new level here.
Montella's escaping. They're gone down the subway.
Get this thing in the air!
Okay, guys, this is what we trained for. SWAT. SWAT. In theaters everywhere, August 8th.
Stadium. A 6-run fifth may have put this one completely out of reach for the Philadelphia Phillies. They had 4 in the first inning. They lead it 10-3, and they're batting again here in the 9th. This is the guy who had the big hit in that opening inning, Pat Burrell. A 2-run homer that he knocked just over the left field fence. And for Burrell, that was number 12. They're hoping he will turn things around come the second half, but he's kind of shut out Mike Schmidt, who had been his hitting guru in Philadelphia. And Mike has complained a little bit about that publicly, too. He said he's not listening to me anymore. He's not listening to anybody. He's only listening to Pat Burrell. And Pat says, I just want my head cleared. I have too many people telling me what I'm doing wrong. He pops that one to short. But obviously with a batting average of 191 as the catch is made by Gonzalez in left. He's been doing a lot of things wrong. And even with the home run time, he was out in front on that.
Well, he's been out in front of everything all night, pulling off the left side, etc. But he has a point. He has a very valid point. Pat Burrell does. I mean, he's listening to too many people. Well, pick something. You pick somebody. We'll get this guy. Will he help you? We'll get that guy. You pick somebody. Pick one person. Because it sounds very easy. I mean, this is the whole Barbra Streisand, not Barbra Streisand, Billie Jean King thing. If it was so easy, everybody'd be doing it. And it is. I mean, when you do it right, it's the easiest thing in the world.
Deep shot left center field. Duncan on the run. It's going to thud up against the fence. And for Tomas Perez, that will be his 3rd hit in this game. 2 singles and a double.
But I think, you're talking about Pat Burrell. He needs one person to talk to. And one of the best pieces of advice I ever got in the big leagues. When things get difficult, when things don't work, go back to step 1, 2, and 3. Establish exactly what 1, 2, and 3 are. Just go back to that, and that's all. Because if you don't have a decent foundation, nothing on top of it is ever going to work. And I can't define to him, Pat Burrell, or almost anybody that well, I don't know what 1, 2, and 3 is for you. Stay back, watch the ball. Make sure your shoelaces are tied. I don't know. You establish 1, 2, and 3. And do that every time. That's all you think about. You don't think about anything. You don't think about your elbow or your armpits or, where the head of the bat is pointed to right field or anything whatsoever.
Punto with a base hit. They'll pull Perez up at 3rd base, so they're on the corners here with 1 away.
At the old term of paralysis by analysis.
Yeah,
that sounds exactly what he's going through.
That's exactly it. Yeah. He has said that. Schmidt's feelings, I think, are a little bit hurt. The base hit by Punto right off the end of the bat.
One of the things that's amazing, and take a look at that little squib up the middle, and the Phillies will end up with runners at 1st and 3rd with 1 out. One of the things when you reach a certain level, the way that Mike Schmidt has in Hall of Fame and 500+ home runs, and I don't know if Mike remembers this, but when he came to the big leagues and was hitting 100, a buck something himself, it's not real easy on the front end.
Yeah.
Everybody has to go through that learning process.
I think what's really interesting about Burrell, at least to me, is that he had established himself as a star last year with 37 homers. 116 RBIs. He hit 282. Yeah, he struck out a lot, but they'll take that with that kind of reward. And yet he looks completely lost right now. As you pointed out, he's out in front all the time.
What was he doing? What was he doing last year, ABC? And are the Phillies saying, yeah, we'll take that, or no, we want you to be better. We want you to refine it even more. We want you to get better because we think that ability to get better is there in you.
And he's got to be, part of this has to be 6 years, $50 million. That's what he got after last year. A lot of hitters, a lot of players will press big time to prove, okay, I know I deserve it. Now I want to show everybody. And maybe that's what's going on here. But when
a combination of things.
Combination. But when you became an established player, he became a star last year. Did this ever happen to you? I mean, once you get to a certain confidence level and fundamentally you're doing everything you're supposed to be doing. And
I think, David, what you're talking about, I say, yeah, I think it happens to everybody. But when it does happen, you stop it. Boom. You learn how to stop it. You learn how to go back to 1, 2, and 3. You learn how to swoop back to basics. Don't try to do too much. Don't try to do too little. You understand what I mean?
Indeed.
Do the basics. Get yourself back to basics. And get back there, boom, in a heartbeat.
This double play close, but the Mets turn 2.
Okay, so here's the deal. Pay attention. This is a story about Angela, who's married to Frankie, who's murdered by Tony, who's dying to be with Angela, who's friends with Connie, who will kill Tony if she catches him with Angela. Oh, and did we mention her new boyfriend?
Your FBI?
Hard to follow? It won't be if you watch Alec Baldwin, Matthew Modine, and Michelle Pfeiffer in Married to the Mob.
Tomorrow at 8, only on the WB11.
A look now at the GM turning point of the game. We go to the 5th inning. That's Mike Lieberthal in the batter's box.
Well, the 5th inning, very big for the Philadelphia Phillies. 6 runs, and Lieberthal, a big blow down in that left field corner. And a long evening, actually a very short evening for Aaron Heilman. Gave up 8 runs, all up earned. And the Phillies have put on an offensive show. They scored 6 big ones in the 5th inning and 4 big ones in the first. They lead at 10-3.
Lieberthal with 2 hits in the contest, a big part of it. Raul Gonzalez is 0 for 3 so far. He leads off the bottom of the 9th against Silva. So the Mets 3 outs away from dropping their 5th straight. And if that comes to pass, in all 5 losses, giving up first inning runs to fall behind, including in the first 2 games of this series, 4 runs in the opening inning. That's just bad chemistry. Randy Wolf would get the win, and the All-Star would improve to 10-4. He went 6 innings. He allowed 1 run, 4 hits. Kaidi Tong and Jim Watkins coming your way with the WB11 news at 10. We'll be following the conclusion of this contest here at Shea Stadium. Gonzalez hitting .263, .321 at Shea, but he puts up an 0 for 4. 1 gone in the bottom of the 9th. Roger Cedeno has homered tonight. Ty Wigginton has doubled. Jason Phillips has a couple of singles, but the best offensive night for the Mets, not saying a whole lot tonight. They have only 7 hits and 3 runs, but it belongs to Vance Wilson. An RBI single in the 2nd inning and a double and a run scored in the 7th. His average up to .291, so again he is flirting with .300 territory.
And an interesting at bat here. You know, say, well, it's a blowout game, 10-3. You know, what difference does it make here? 1 out in the 9th inning, bottom of the 9th. You're losing by 7. This is exactly what Keith Hernandez was talking about before. He said, do you give away this at bat? I mean, Vance Wilson's had a pretty good night. A couple of hits, RBI, can have himself a very good night. And there's the other mental part of it. Do you give this away? Okay, yes, it's a losing. You know, Art House going to notice this. Do you give this at bat away? Say, all right, throw in the towel. We're down by 7. Or do you battle this guy and try to get yourself another base hit? Now with 2 strikes, do you try to get yourself a base hit? All these little things, you know, the people you work for notice.
And they add up.
Absolutely, they add up. They add up in the does he care column. Gonzalez down by 7 runs. Routine ground ball to shortstop. Busted his rear end to first base.
Did he check? They appeal. He did, says Greg Gibson.
And Gonzalez busted it to first base, saying, I want to be here. We made that awful throw in left field, but you know what? In the bottom of the 9th inning, down by 7 runs, hit a routine ground ball and got down to first as quickly as he possibly could.
Yeah, that's a lot of minor league bad cheeseburgers and long bus trips talking right there.
I don't think people don't notice that. I mean, that's if this is the kind of game you say, okay, you can phone it in, right? Ground ball short. Let me see what this kid does going to first base.
Little foul off to the left. 2-2 on Vance Wilson. And Timo Perez on deck for the Mets. Nobody on base, 1 away. Bottom of the 9th inning. 10 runs, 14 hits for the Phils. 3 runs, 7 hits for the Mets. Phillies who committed 2 errors. The Mets 1. Check swing, and he's battling all the way here. 3 balls, 2 strikes. So trying to take a 3-hit game out of a blowout and an otherwise forgettable night here in Flushing. The 3-2 from Silva, and he walked him. So Wilson on base for the 3rd time. So the pinch hitter now, Timo being announced. He's batting .273 with a pair of home runs. He's driven in 18. Timo Perez here on Merengue night. The fans getting up out of their seats, dancing a little bit. A little excitement here in a 10-3 contest. Actually chanting for Timo. Native of Boni in the Dominican Republic waiting. Flies that one into left. Pat Burrell with the catch, 2 away. So that merengue was rather short-lived, Tom.
Well, you know, we made the point in our games in Cincinnati, with a couple of games we had there when the Mets came back from behind and we thought maybe they're getting on a roll. We made the point of, well, they're going to go home. They're going to play Atlanta and Philadelphia, and then they're going to play Atlanta and Philadelphia again, back-to-back. And if you're going to get your game together, those are a couple of teams that you're going to have to get it in order to be able to compete with them. And it's been a bit of a slap in the face so far.
McEwing with a routine ground ball, and that's the ball game. On the 4th out, the side is retired, and the Phillies have defeated the Mets for the 2nd consecutive game after getting off to a 4-run first-inning start. That's it from Shea. The final score, the Phillies 10 and the Mets 3. Join us on the WB11 for our next Met telecast Sunday at 1 o'clock. The Mets taking on the Phillies right before the All-Star break. For Keith Hernandez, for Tom Seaver, and our entire crew here at Shea Stadium tonight, thanks so much for joining us. The WB11 News at 10 comes your way next. Have a great evening, everybody.